Chapter 2179. Looks like you trust him a lot. Goddess Luo said. That's for sure. He's my brother. Back in the immortal world, we were invincible. No one could defeat us. Only Jiang Chen could barely fight me to a draw, said Jiang Chen with a smile. De Huang Dog patted his chest and said, Then why didn't you defeat these divine souls? Goddess Luo looked at De Huang Dog with interest. Little Luo, you're going to kill the conversation if you keep talking like this. De Huang Dog was obviously embarrassed. You're not going to stoop down to the same level as a dog. Jiang Chen couldn't help but snort at Xian Yulong. Hey, little Chenzi, what do you mean? If you want to fight, then fight. What do you mean stoop down to the same level as a dog? This master dog feels uncomfortable listening to you. De Huang Dog said with extreme dissatisfaction. Wait till I get rid of you first, then I'll deal with that dog. He pulled my leg, not even his poop and fart. This kind of animal shouldn't live in this world. Xian Yulong harumphed coldly and rushed towards Jiang Chen. His momentum was powerful and imposing. 5 Elements Combat Dragon Seal. Jiang Chen struck out a seal. Both of them were evenly matched. No one could gain the upper hand. Moreover, Jiang Chen's aura was still rising. A 9th-grade immortal sovereign wasn't that easy to defeat. Not bad. You have some skills. No wonder you dare to show off. But that's all there is to it. Why would I need a butcher's knife to kill you? Xian Yulong attacked again. His terrifying sword aura shook the heavens and earth. His invincible stance forced Jiang Chen to go all out. The strength of a 9th-grade immortal sovereign is still too weak. Jiang Chen smiled and murmured. In that case, let's make a breakthrough here. I want to see who can stop me. As soon as Jiang Chen finished his words, Shen Yulong continued to rush towards Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's heavenly dragon sword was unleashed and the sword chi was 800 meters long, causing the surroundings to tremble. The heavenly dragon sword's draconic aura rippled and thousands of swords were broken. The sword in Shen Yulong's hand was directly broken and he was pushed back more than 10 li. His entire body was injured by the sword chi and even his divine soul shadow became dimmer. Such a domineering sword. Shen Yu who sucked in a breath of cold air. At the same time, the other person who was deeply shocked was Gong Yang Juimu. Such a powerful sword was simply a peerless divine weapon. It was even more terrifying than a heavenly divine tool. It was at least a primordial divine tool. Could this be the masterpiece of the craftsman god? He looked at Jiang Chen unhurriedly. I want this sword. If you hand it over now, I might be able to take your life. Do you really think that you're the king of heaven? You want my sword? Why don't you open your dog eyes and see if you're qualified to use my sword? Jiang Chen struck out his sword and soared into the sky. The light of the sword turned into a rainbow and swept across the dark void like a thunderbolt. Wherever the light of the sword passed, the void became dark. Gong Yang Juimu used both of his hands to block the attack, but he was forced back 7 steps by the sword light. His expression became solemn. 9th-grade Immortal Sovereign. Is he really only a 9th-grade Immortal Sovereign? Gong Yang Juimu thought in his heart. Even he was pushed back by Yi Shiwen. It must be the sword in his hand. Such a terrifying sword light. Such a strange divine sword. This sword. I'm definitely taking it. Gong Yang Juimu's eyes lit up. No one was clearer than him about the value of this sword. It was priceless. Moreover, this was definitely the masterpiece of the craftsman god. The lightning tribulation must have been triggered by this sword. The mightiness of the sword shone brightly. It was soul-stirring. Jiang Chen's appearance had completely shocked everyone. Although Goddess Luo and Moling Dongchen did not know how Jiang Chen survived and how he came out, they knew that this guy must have experienced a lot of things. His heavenly dragon sword wasn't this powerful before. De Huang Dog was the most shocked. The current heavenly dragon sword made his heart palpitate. In other words, this heavenly dragon sword was like a peerless divine weapon. The sword aura and sword light gave people a feeling of invincibility. Indeed, the previous heavenly dragon sword wasn't this powerful. He could fight against a late void god as a 9th-grade immortal sovereign. It's mostly because of this sword. Goddess Luo nodded and said. In the distance, Yexing Yunwang, Jiang Xinxin, and the others were also fighting a group of enemies. When facing the divine souls, they could at least protect themselves and not be slaughtered by the divine souls. It's him. It's him. He's still alive. Jiang Xinshin looked at Jiang Chen's direction. That sword strike had shocked the world, and everyone was shocked. It's really Boss Jiang Chen. Ha ha! I knew it. Boss won't fall so easily. What a terrifying sword. I think I'll be killed in a second. Amokehan laughed and said. Everyone seemed to have found their backbone and began to fight with all their strength. In the eyes of the Sword God Alliance, Jiang Chen was an omnipotent god. Boss has returned. We must not embarrass him. Lu Dong said in a deep voice. He swept across the sky and killed another divine soul. His spear pierced through the void with unparalleled might. However, compared to Jiang Chen, it was like comparing the stars to the moon. Lu Dong is right. Boss Jiang Chen has returned. I'm afraid the day of our victory is not far away. Yexing Yunwang raised his sword and stood proudly. He had killed quite a number of divine souls. Some of the Void God experts could already fight against these divine souls. Everyone worked together and started to fight against the divine souls. Although there were many who fell, there were still some who persevered. Only by surviving would there be hope. Jiang Chen's 2 attacks had shocked a lot of people. In order to make sure that everything was going well, even Gongyang Juimu looked at Xianyu Hu. Let's attack together. Brother Xianyu, kill this monster and we'll make arrangements. What do you think? Exactly. No matter how strong he is, we must kill him in the cradle. In this tomb of the god of sin, there has never been anyone who could suppress us. Xianyu Hu was also unconvinced. However, they were still afraid of the heavenly dragon sword in Jiang Chen's hand. Even Xianyu Hu did not dare to say that he could defeat Jiang Chen. That's great. Ha ha. Let's get rid of these guys first. It's not too late to reward them later. Guang Juimu said with a laugh. However, at this moment, the thunderclouds in the sky had already gathered. Moreover, all of them were gathering towards Jiang Chen. The thunderclouds were rolling in all directions. Everyone stared at this scene because the thunderclouds were too terrifying and too dense. It was as if the sky was going to collapse. Moreover, the distance between them and the thunderclouds was less than 100 meters. Could it be that this guy is going to break through his tribulation at this time? Guang Juimu frowned and said, Isn't that courting death? If we don't take action now, when will we? Chapter 2180. Is Jiang Chen really not afraid of these people secretly attacking him? Isn't it a little too daring for him to break through at this moment? Luo Wenhao was in disbelief. He even started to worry for Jiang Chen. After all, Jiang Chen was their last hope. Moreover, when he attacked just now, he could already feel how terrifying Jiang Chen was. The heavenly dragon sword seemed to be even more terrifying than the heavenly lightning imperial demon blade that he saw in the refining god palace. Jiang Chen never does things that he's not confident in. De Huang said faintly as he looked at Jiang Chen calmly. He was the only one who wasn't worried about Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's chi sank into his dantian as he sat in the void with his eyes closed. He was calm and composed. At this moment, he finally released the desolation energy in his body, and it started to gush out continuously. His strength had also risen by a lot at this moment. At this moment, the dragon marks in his body started to gather. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 100,000, 200,000. This time, Jiang Chen finally understood what it meant to be well prepared. 4 million dragon marks spread out in his body and gathered in his 8 extraordinary meridians. The number of dragon marks had reached an unprecedented number. Seeing that Jiang Chen's aura was rising continuously, Gongyang Juimu and Xianyu Hu looked at each other and were ready to make a move. They must not let Jiang Chen break through smoothly. If that happened, the threat they would face would be even greater. Let's attack together. We must not hold back. However, at this moment, the thunderclouds in the sky had already formed. A clap of thunder pierced through the sky, and both Xianyu Hu and Gongyang Juimu came to a halt at this moment. Gongyang Juimu and Xianyu Hu were stunned. How could this be? Xianyu Hu's eyes were filled with shock. This is the dawn sky golden lightning. Isn't this the heavenly lightning that can only descend when a heavenly god breaks through? The dawn sky golden lightning was extremely terrifying. It was impossible for void gods and true gods to use it. One must reach the heavenly god realm and condense the divine spark to complete the transformation. At that time, the dawn sky golden lightning would appear. Jiang Chen was only a 9th grade immortal sovereign now. Could he really break through? Under this dawn sky golden lightning, I'm afraid we'll all be turned to ashes. Could it be that the heavens are helping them? Xueqi gritted his teeth. Right now they were just souls. They didn't dare to advance recklessly against such a powerful lightning tribulation. Moreover, this wasn't an ordinary lightning tribulation, it was the dawn sky golden lightning. Wasn't this a little too terrifying? Don't forget that he's only a 9th grade immortal sovereign. We might not be able to withstand the dawn sky golden lightning, but can he? His words reminded Xueqi of something. That's right. We can't take it, and he definitely can't take it either. That guy deserves to die for being unjust. Ha! Xueqi and Ganyujui became quiet at this moment. They crossed their arms as if they were waiting to watch a good show. Dawn sky golden lightning. How could this happen? This is a lightning tribulation that only heavenly god realm experts would use. Jiang Chen is definitely going to die. Moling Dongchen said worriedly. Although he's using his trump card, the dawn sky golden lightning is much more terrifying than an ordinary lightning tribulation. Many peak true god experts would be killed by this lightning tribulation. Luo Wenhao said in a low voice. At this moment, Jiang Chen had already landed in the center of the lightning tribulation. Thunderclouds rolled, lightning flashed, and thunder rumbled. Everything was trembling. This lightning tribulation should be able to kill these 100,000 divine souls. These divine souls are much stronger than the lowest grade divine souls. This time, I'm afraid these people will know who's the real overlord. You've been acting like a tyrant for so many years. Later, I'll let you know that you shouldn't exist in this divine tomb. Jiang Chen murmured confidently. However, the terrifying lightning tribulation above his head was really scary. However, with the Zulong Tower in his hand, Jiang Chen was not worried at all. Absorbing the power of the lightning tribulation could make him more stable. His strength would definitely improve at this moment. Although the 9th grade immortal sovereign realm was only a step away from the void god realm, the difference between them was like heaven and earth. Jiang Chen knew that this step was not easy. That's why he did not step into the void god realm. Instead, he suppressed the dragon marks and aura in his body. At this moment, it was completely unleashed. Jiang Chen felt that this lightning tribulation was not simple. Moreover, it was filled with ruthlessness. It might not be an ordinary lightning tribulation. However, at this moment, he unleashed all his techniques and did not care about the lightning tribulation at all. However, these divine souls were destined to suffer at this moment. Everyone, stop struggling. I'll send you to the safe zone. Otherwise, you'll be killed by these divine souls. I'm the Alliance Master of the Sword God Alliance, Jiang Chen. I've once saved 50,000 fellow immortals under the Tianzhu Peak. Jiang Chen's voice reverberated throughout Mount Meru. Everyone was stunned. However, the people of the Sword God Alliance immediately gave up struggling and were sucked into the Zulong Tower by Jiang Chen. Out of the 50,000 9th grade immortal sovereigns, only 30,000 were left. Out of the 300,000 9th grade immortal sovereigns, only less than 170,000 were left. The remaining people were extremely shocked. However, when they saw so many of them being sucked away by Jiang Chen's teleportation, they could not help but gasp. Motherfucker! I don't care anymore. We're going to die anyway. Let's fight. The Sword God Alliance doesn't seem to be a bunch of thieves. Whether we can survive or not, it all depends on this guy. I won't hand my fate to others. I'd rather die than leave. I want to fight to the end with these divine souls. That's right. I, Zhang Tianxua, am a formidable person. I will never allow myself to become someone's lackey. Even if I die in battle, I will never give up. Never. Some were happy, some were worried. Some believed and some were worried. Not everyone believed in Jiang Chen, because his appearance was still a mystery to most of them. Who would believe in someone they're not familiar with? Even though these 9th grade immortal sovereigns were facing a life and death crisis, there were still some who were strong and proud. They persisted in their pursuit and dreams. Even if they had to fight to the end, they still refused to believe in others. Jiang Chen sucked all the 9th grade immortal sovereigns who had given up resisting into the Zulong Tower. However, in the end, there were still 13,000 people who refused to enter Jiang Chen's Zulong Tower. I can only help you till here. The rest depends on your luck. How many of you can survive? Good luck to you. Chapter 2181. Seeing that the people around them had all disappeared, the remaining 10,000 people felt a great sense of danger. That's because the 100,000 spirits were all rushing towards them. As time went by, the number of spirits that they had to deal with would naturally increase. How could this be? There are more than 100,000 people here, but they all disappeared into thin air? Could it be this guy's doing? Not only those divine souls were panicking, even Xueqi who was panicking. Looks like this guy has more than one treasure on him. Even Xueqi who did not know that Jiang Chen must have a spatial treasure. A spatial ring that could store items was not common. However, a spatial treasure that could store a living person must be at least an origin divine tool. Even in the divine world, only a powerful hierarch would be able to obtain one. It was already extremely difficult to obtain one. Jiang Chen looked at Xueqi who and Xueqi who and Xueqi who. Even the craftsman god had only created 5 spatial treasures in his life. One could imagine how precious these spatial treasures were. Look, the lightning retribution is finally coming. That's right. This guy can't even protect himself. Do you think he can save us? What a fool's dream. Some people always like to think that they are infallible. Even if I die, I will live with dignity and dignity. Those who were not taken into the Zulong Tower by Jiang Chen snorted at Jiang Chen. In their eyes, Jiang Chen was just like them, destined to die here. It was just a matter of time. Those guys actually believed that he could save their lives and turn the tide. It was really ridiculous. More and more, Gongyang Juimu felt that Jiang Chen must die because he had too many secrets. This lightning retribution seems a little strange. Xueqi who said in a low voice, but he did not know what was wrong. Jiang Chen looked at the thunderclouds in the sky. It was as if there was a pair of eyes looking at him in the lightning retribution. No matter who you are, you can't stop me. Jiang Chen said coldly, his eyes looking at the thunderclouds in the void. Lightning flashed and thunder roared. Rumble! A bolt of lightning streaked across the sky and struck the top of Jiang Chen's head. Jiang Chen was fearless as a golden pagoda shadow appeared above his head. Terrifying lightning energy spread out, turning everything within a 100-mile radius into ashes. Not good. This guy wants to kill our people. Suddenly, a thought flashed through his mind. Only then did he realize that there were already thousands of divine souls that were struck by the lightning and turned into ashes. 100,000 divine souls were extremely shocked. Xueqi who also took a glance at Gong Juimu. He was also extremely astonished. Thousands of divine souls were destroyed in an instant. Under the lightning strike, there was no living being that could survive. Of course, it wasn't just the godly souls that suffered. There were also those arrogant people who didn't want to give their lives to Jiang Chen. 2,000 people instantly turned to dust. At this moment, they finally realized how terrifying the dawn sky golden lightning was. Save us! Save us, Jiang Chen! We know our mistakes. Lord Jiang Chen, please save us. We don't want to die. You lunatic! You're here undergoing the lightning retribution, but you put us in danger. You'll die a horrible death, Jiang Chen. You're a bastard, Jiang Chen. I hate you. I won't let you off even if I become a ghost. Jiang Chen's expression was calm and unmoving. There was no fluctuation in his heart at all. The most difficult thing to understand was the human heart. The human heart was unfathomable. He understood this a long time ago. Not everyone could have a scale in their heart to weigh right and wrong. In the eyes of those people, they were the rulers of their world. They were omnipotent. They were the center of the world. Jiang Chen saved them. They felt that Jiang Chen had ulterior motives. Jiang Chen was undergoing the lightning retribution here and wanted to kill the divine souls. They didn't trust anyone and pushed all the blame to Jiang Chen. Such people were destined to die a horrible death. Perhaps, this was the punishment from the heavens. Black and white, unable to distinguish right from wrong. Jiang Chen sneered. Some people didn't deserve sympathy even in death. Jiang Chen clenched his hand. The divine burying flag stirred the wind and clouds. Even the lightning seemed to be moving with the wind under Jiang Chen's control. It's the divine burying flag. Gongyang Juimu gritted his teeth. Just what was this guy made of? These peerless treasures were like cabbages in the market. Wasn't this too ridiculous? After thinking about it, there was only one conclusion. This fella must have obtained all the inheritances of the craftsman god. Otherwise, how could he have so many peerless divine tools? Divine burying flag. This fella has quite a lot of treasures. Kill him and all the treasures will be ours. Ha! Xueqi laughed. I don't believe that he can withstand the power of the dawn sky golden lightning. From the start, Xueqi didn't make a move. Because even he didn't dare to take the dawn sky golden lightning head-on. All divine souls, retreat from Mount Meru's range. Xueqi didn't want his subordinates to die here. Third brother, bring everyone out of Mount Meru. Otherwise, no one will be able to survive the dawn sky golden lightning. Xueqi glanced at the brothers beside him and shouted in a low voice. However, at this moment, the divine burying flag in Jiang Chen's hand became more and more terrifying. The entire Mount Meru seemed to be on the verge of collapsing. That kind of terror made no one dare to invade it. It was as if it was the only supreme existence in the heavens and earth. Standing proudly in the void, above all living beings, controlling life and death. Jiang Chen's aura reached the heavens and he was not afraid of the lightning tribulation. This scene made Moling Dongchen's heart tremble slightly. This fellow is too terrifying. It's too late to think of leaving now. Jiang Chen smiled indifferently. The second lightning tribulation descended. Jiang Chen waved the divine burying flag and welcomed the lightning tribulation towards Mount Meru. Another 20,000 divine souls were annihilated. Divine sparks were everywhere. Thousands of ninth-grade immortal sovereigns could not escape from this lightning tribulation. The screams were deafening, and the screams of agony lingered in the air. Xueqi and Xueqi's countenance changed drastically. Their accumulation of countless years of divine souls was destroyed just like that? Jiang Chen's aura was like a rainbow. He did not feel any pressure facing the dawn sky golden lightning at all. It was as if he was mocking the lightning tribulation. Holding the flag in his hand, he was so terrifying. A ninth-grade immortal sovereign that could shake the heavens. Undeniably, even Xueqi was extremely shocked. He did not expect this fella to be so powerful. Obtaining the inheritance of the craftsman god was indeed extraordinary. If this fella could enter the divine world, his future would be limitless. However, Xueqi would not give him such a chance. Although you're very strong and monstrous, you're destined to die in this divine tomb. No one has ever escaped from my palm. After all, you've obtained the inheritance of the craftsman god. Even if you can enter the divine world, you won't be able to live for long. Why not let me take advantage of you today? Chapter 2182. Jiang Chen held the divine burying flag in his hand, sweeping everything in his way. Hundreds of thousands of divine souls trembled at this moment. Because the dawn sky golden lightning was too terrifying, thousands of divine souls turned into ashes in an instant. And this time, the power of the lightning was even fiercer. The sound of the lightning rumbled, as if it was going to split the heavens and earth apart, sending chills down everyone's spine. No, I can't die, I can't die. I've already died once, I still want to be a god again. A peak divine king expert said in fear. Because even the divine souls of divine king realm did not have the ability to resist. Facing such a terrifying lightning tribulation, they could only sigh. How could this be? This madman, to think that the lightning tribulation would descend at this moment. Isn't he afraid that he would be killed by the lightning tribulation? Divine Emperor, save us. This is too terrifying. If the lightning tribulation descends, we might not even have our bones left. No, we can't resist this lightning tribulation. Countless divine souls started to flee in all directions. But Jiang Chen was already prepared to resist the lightning tribulation, letting the lightning tribulation descend and kill hundreds of thousands of divine souls. This was his plan. But he did not expect that there were still many ninth-grade immortal sovereigns who were unwilling to leave. They chose to stay here and defend their position. They would rather die than to leave. They refused to believe in Jiang Chen. All of you go to hell. What can 100,000 divine souls do to me? Ha ha! Jiang Chen laughed loudly. The lightning also descended. The terrifying power of the lightning was like a sea of lightning, descending on Mount Meru within a radius of a few hundred li. All the divine souls could not escape from this fate. At this moment, even Xueqi, Xueqi and the others could only retreat quickly. They did not dare to put themselves in the sea of lightning. The lightning chains that were flickering with tears were like a ferocious beast in the heavens and earth. When they descended, a series of screams were heard, deafening and tragic. Jiang Chen, You'll die a horrible death. You're a madman. Why do you want to kill us? We have no enmity with you. Ah. We won't let you go even if we become ghosts. Jiang Chen, you're a bastard. Jiang Chen, you and I are absolutely irreconcilable. Countless ninth-grade immortal sovereigns roared in anger. They vented all their anger on Jiang Chen. In their eyes, it was Jiang Chen who wanted to kill them. Jiang Chen was the culprit who killed them. However, they had completely forgotten that Jiang Chen had wanted to save them, but they were completely unmoved. They only wanted to complete the redemption themselves and would rather die than surrender. However, at this time they thought of Jiang Chen. Some were looking for his life. Some were looking for him for help. However, Jiang Chen was not omnipotent. At this time, the lightning tribulation had already descended. Within 100 li radius, there was a sea of lightning. No one could save them. In the Zulong Tower, those ninth-grade immortal sovereigns who were sucked into the lightning tribulation by Jiang Chen all took a deep breath. No one could survive such a terrifying sea of lightning. They were glad that they did not die. Because Jiang Chen was here, they did not need to worry at all. In the Zulong Tower, they could clearly see the terrifying sea of lightning outside, as if it was descending upon them. However, the sea of lightning could not hurt them at all. Jiang Chen held the big flag in his hand, waving the heaven and earth. In the sea of lightning, he stood proudly, absorbing the power of lightning. The dragon marks on his body grew more and more, like a golden statue of the god of war. There was not a shred of pity in Jiang Chen's eyes. These people weren't worthy of sympathy. He had thought of helping them, but in the end, he was rejected. He couldn't bear to see so many people from different immortal worlds being killed before they even had the chance to enter the god world. However, some people were arrogant and conceited. It was inevitable that they would do something like that. It was impossible for Jiang Chen to change everyone's opinion. Initially, he only wanted to kill 100,000 divine souls, but the rest of them were killed. He had no choice but to show no mercy to them. He wasn't the savior of the world. Under such circumstances, he had already done his best. Jiang Chen had a clear conscience. He had a clear conscience. At this moment, he looked down upon everyone with disdain. This was his destiny. This was their fate. More and more people felt the frailty of life amidst the wailing. Tens of thousands of divine souls and ninth-grade immortal sovereigns were completely turned into ashes in the sea of lightning. Jiang Chen kept the divine burying flag and pointed his sword towards the void, welcoming the last heavenly lightning. Jiang Chen's expression was incomparably solemn. At this time, the 100,000 divine souls on Mount Meru had all turned into ashes. Divine sparks were scattered all over Mount Meru. Those ninth-grade immortal sovereigns who did not listen to his advice had also turned into a wisp of green smoke. Jiang Chen did not feel any guilt. This was what they asked for, and they only had themselves to blame. He had done his best. Those people in the Zulong Tower were all grateful to him. Jiang Chen is too powerful. A peak ninth-grade immortal sovereign could fight against a void god. It's a miracle. I'm glad that I was not arrogant and conceited back then. Perhaps this is fate. Jiang Chen saved us, but he also killed those who did not know what's good for them. Jiang Xinxin took a step forward and stood in front of those people. She said faintly, "These people were not killed by young Master Jiang Chen. They were struck to death by the heavenly lightning because they could not see the situation clearly. They can only blame themselves for being blind." No one could refute Jiang Xinxin, because what she said was true. Gone, all gone. All the divine souls were killed by that bastard Jiang Chen. Killing 100,000 divine souls. He's a peerless madman. Shen Yu Hu murmured. The efforts of the brothers for so many years were all destroyed and wasted. This made Shen Yu Hu feel a great sense of defeat. In the past, no one could go against them in the divine tomb. Even Gong Juimu was not willing to provoke them. Gong Juimu smiled bitterly. He hated Jiang Chen to the core. "I'll fight you to the death." So many divine souls were destroyed. No one would serve him anymore. His plan to return to the god position might be delayed for another 1,000 or even 10,000 years. "Now we can't go in," Gong Juimu murmured. The dawn sky golden lightning was the last heavenly lightning tribulation. It would be filled with violent lightning energy. Jiang Chen would not be able to endure it. "Little bastard, let's see how long you can last." Chapter 2183. At this moment, Jiang Chen felt a terrifying energy gathering in the lightning tribulation above his head. 100,000 divine sparks began to condense and were absorbed by the Zulong Tower. This time, the divine sparks were not ordinary heavenly god realm divine sparks. Most of the divine sparks were divine king realm divine sparks. There were even hundreds of hierarch divine sparks. To Jiang Chen, this was a great fortune. The Zulong Tower would definitely open again, and it would not only open one floor. 100,000 divine sparks were gradually absorbed by the ancestral dragon pagoda. Jiang Chen's dantian was completely condensed. Even he himself did not expect that the energy of countless divine sparks would seep out from the ancestral dragon pagoda and flow into his body. Did something happen to this kid again? De Huang Dog walked back and forth with a solemn expression. The scene in the sky had shocked the world. No one dared to go against it. Even the divine soul of a divine emperor, Gong Juimu, could only stay there and not make any rash moves. Could it be? No, this is impossible. I have never seen anyone condense a divine spark when he just broke through to the void god realm. Xueqi Hu said with a solemn expression. His eyes were filled with disbelief. A void god's divine spark could be condensed to such a deep level. How terrifying would that person's divine spark be? Moreover, it wasn't like there wasn't such a person in the past. In the past, a great emperor had accomplished such a feat. That person was truly gifted by the heavens, unparalleled in the world. Gong Juimu did not believe that Jiang Chen could walk on the path of that terrifying great emperor. No one could be compared to the dreadfulness of that great emperor. Why do I feel that my dantian is so hot? This energy is being transmitted to me by the Zulong Tower? Jiang Chen felt that the aura of the Zulong Tower was rising continuously. At the same time, an unknown energy was gathering in his body. Legend has it that only the most talented experts are able to form a god upon reaching transcendent mortal realm. Moling Dongchen looked at Jiang Chen and murmured. He could also feel the power of divine spark. It was an inexplicable pressure. Those who are below the heavenly god realm cannot be considered as gods. Before condensing their godhood, they cannot be considered as true gods. In fact, even after death, it is impossible for their souls to exist forever. Goddess Luo nodded and said, "It looks like little Chenzi is about to condense his godhead?" De Huang said in a deep voice. "I am also a genius, so why didn't I condense divine deity?" De Huang seemed to be very dissatisfied. He glanced at Goddess Luo and the others. Goddess Luo didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This De Huang dog was too interesting and shameless. "You're just a stupid dog. What right do you have to condense godhood?" Luo Wenhao glared at De Huang dog and said, "Humph, Master Dog is the #1 demon sovereign in the world. You're not even qualified to carry my shoes. Fight me if you're not satisfied. Let me beat you until you're looking for your teeth on the ground." De Huang said righteously and arrogantly. "You damn dog." Luo Wenhao was so angry that he felt uncomfortable. He really wanted to fight with this dog. However, he knew that this guy was not easy to deal with. He was afraid that he might not be able to kill this dog. "You're really useless, Luo Wenhao. Ha! Why are you picking a fight with a dog? Do you think it's worth it?" Moling Dongchen couldn't stand it anymore. This Luo Wenhao did not have the demeanor of a disciple from a big clan. God Luo clan was a famous clan in the divine world that had been passed down for thousands of years. "Look, the golden light on Jiang Chen's body is getting brighter and brighter," Goddess Luo said in a low voice. "This guy is simply an invincible monster. A 9th-grade immortal sovereign that could fight against the dawn sky golden lightning. He's still thinking of condensing his godhood at this moment. He's crazy. He's crazy." Luo Wenhao boasted that he was one of the most talented youths in the God Luo clan. However, he felt a little inferior in front of Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen focused his eyes and looked at his dantian. A purple golden light began to gather in his body. At this moment, 3 floors of the Zulong Tower were opened. The 77th floor, 78th floor, 79th floor, all of them were opened. "Am I really going to condense my godhood?" Jiang Chen rubbed his nose and smiled faintly. It seemed like the Zulong Tower had absorbed hundreds of thousands of divine souls. This was the power of the godhood that the Zulong Tower had given to him. Moreover, it was purple-golden in color. Once the godhood was formed, perhaps his strength would go up another level. The dragon marks were growing rapidly. Jiang Chen raised his head and looked at the last heavenly lightning tribulation. It was like an ancient ferocious dragon that would pour down at any time and give him the most terrifying blow. Godhood complete. Jiang Chen roared in rage. Millions of purple golden light gathered in his dantian. The light converged and the dust settled. A purple golden diamond-shaped godhood was lying quietly in Jiang Chen's dantian. At this moment, Jiang Chen felt that his strength had undergone a tremendous change. The purple golden light shone brightly and illuminated thousands of miles away, as if it was going to light up the entire divine tomb. This is the purple golden godhood? Rumor has it that the purple golden godhood is the bearing of a great emperor. Not bad. It's really the purple golden godhood. This fella actually condensed the purple golden godhood in the void god realm. This is too unbelievable. Geng Juimu and Xianyu, whose countenance became solemn. At this moment it was too terrifying. Jiang Chen's talent was unparalleled. Such a technique was heaven-defying. If this continues, I'm afraid we'll have to be wary of him. Xianyu, who gritted his teeth and said, "That's not necessarily true. The last heavenly lightning tribulation will only allow him to truly step into the early void god realm. The difference between a mortal and immortal is not something that can be crossed easily. Don't forget that this is the dawn sky golden lightning. Even we have to avoid it." Geng Juimu still believed that it was impossible for Jiang Chen to escape from the dawn sky golden lightning. Let's hope so. If he really broke through the dawn sky golden lightning and stepped into the early void god realm, it'll be even more difficult for us to deal with him. After all, the 9th grade immortal sovereign just now made us feel pressured. Xianyu, who was also quite solemn. He knew how terrifying this fella was. Moreover, his strength was shocking when he was still alive. He was also astute. Naturally, he knew Jiang Chen very well. Geng Juimu and Xianyu, who would not make such a low-level mistake. After all, Jiang Chen's prestige was enough to threaten them. Moreover, Jiang Chen had obtained the inheritance of the craftsman god. This was the most attractive point. The last bolt of lightning seemed to have passed through thousands of years and landed on Jiang Chen's body. Jiang Chen did not move at all. Although his body was also severely injured by the lightning, this feeling was incomparably carefree. It was as if Jiang Chen was placed in the 9 heavens Jasper Lake. However, at this moment, Jiang Chen suddenly raised his head. Within the thunderclouds, a golden lightning directly entered his dantian and lingered on the purple golden divine spark. At this moment, Jiang Chen felt something strange. This golden lightning seemed to be wreaking havoc in his body. How could this be? Jiang Chen thought in his heart. Pooh! Chapter 2184. Ha ha ha. As expected. This fella's strength is still too weak. A void god dares to resist the dawn sky golden lightning. Does he really think that this lightning tribulation is so simple? Geng Juimu laughed. His expression was extremely cold. Now, he just needs to wait for Jiang Chen to die. Then, all of Jiang Chen's inheritances will become his. At that time, those cultivators will have nowhere to hide. The heavens are helping me. The heavens are helping me. Xianyu, who felt the same. Jiang Chen had destroyed his brother's soul. He wished he could eat Jiang Chen alive. How could this be? Little Chenzi, don't drop the ball. Learn from Master Dog. The heavenly lightning tribulation will be over after a nap. Big Yellow looked worried and said in a deep voice, "Damn dog. You're too good at bluffing. The lightning tribulation will be over after a nap?" Luo Wenhao had goosebumps. Even if you're bluffing, you shouldn't bluff like this. You should at least have a bottom line, right? This is too fucked up. I can't be bothered with you. De Huang harumphed coldly. He was still looking at Jiang Chen, who was in the sea of lightning. Now, no one dared to take a step forward. Within 100 li radius, lightning was everywhere. That kind of terror was not something that void gods like them could resist. Could this be the lightning source of the dawn sky golden lightning? Jiang Chen felt the baptism of the lightning and became worried. Because a strand of the lightning source of the dawn sky golden lightning had entered his body and lingered on the purple gold divine spark. That mysterious feeling made Jiang Chen know that the lightning source was not something to be trifled with. Compared to the dawn sky golden lightning sea of lightning, it was much scarier. Because no matter how many lightning there were, they were all released by the lightning source. Jiang Chen's 5 viscera and 6 bowels were destroyed by the source of the lightning. Am I going to fail miserably this time? At this moment, he suddenly thought of the myriad chi cauldron. His master had said that the myriad chi cauldron was a chaos saint tool that was obtained after the creation of the heavens and earth. It must be able to suppress all living things. Let's see if your lightning source can suppress it. Get lost. In his dantian, Jiang Chen operated the myriad chi cauldron and suppressed the purple golden divine spark. At this moment, the lightning source that was wreaking havoc finally calmed down. While this was happening, the myriad chi cauldron emitted from the myriad chi cauldron and spread to every part of Jiang Chen's body. Jiang Chen felt unprecedentedly comfortable. That feeling was like surviving a disaster. At this moment, his body was recovering rapidly. The myriad chi cauldron was the most powerful thing in the world. It gathered the myriad chi cauldron, and it was the thing that created the world. Under the nourishment of the myriad chi cauldron, Jiang Chen's body gradually recovered to its peak. His strength was also relatively strong. Only Jiang Chen knew the benefits of the myriad chi cauldron. It could help him recover from his serious injuries and increase the strength of his body. It could even regenerate his flesh and blood. It was unparalleled. The dawn sky golden lightning source is really suppressed by the myriad chi cauldron. A smile hung at the corner of Jiang Chen's mouth. The thunderclouds gradually retreated. The dawn sky golden lightning source was completely suppressed by the myriad chi cauldron. A strand of golden lightning source lingered on the purple golden divine spark. At this moment, the lightning source was extremely tame. Jiang Chen could even control the lightning. Imagine a great war erupting and a bolt of lightning descending. How terrifying would that be? It might even be more terrifying than the 5 elemental true fire. That's amazing. Jiang Chen's eyes were getting brighter. The myriad chi cauldron was suppressing the lightning. It was too powerful. Now, Jiang Chen finally knew how terrifying the myriad chi cauldron that his master had left for him was. Not only could it be used to refine equipment, but it was also a peerless saint equipment. Jiang Chen suddenly opened his eyes. 100,000 divine sparks were all absorbed by the Zulong Tower. Moreover, the 81st level was directly opened. This was something that Jiang Chen had not expected at all. Time had changed once every 100 years. Most importantly, he could feel that the Zulong Tower had undergone a qualitative change. Unfortunately, he could not find the exact location. On the 81st level of the Zulong Tower, an old sigh was heard. Finally, he's awake. No one could hear this sigh, not even Jiang Chen. In the east, in a tomb, an old man walked out of the thatched house with a walking stick. His hollow eyes seemed to have a glimmer of light at this moment. However, it was only for a moment. The old man raised his head and looked at the sky. He wanted to say something but stopped. Behind him was the resting place of the primeval legion of gods. More than 10 tombs started to shake as if the sky was going to collapse. Did you guys feel it too? The old man murmured in a low voice. Perhaps some of the ancient gods have already returned, Yang Qi said. The old man held a tattered yellow flag in front of the divine tomb. The flag was fluttering even though there was no wind. Even the self-proclaimed top expert of the divine tomb, Gongjuimu, did not dare to step into this place. Because in the ancient Eastern divine tomb, there were miracles that they could not reach. It was said that there were 4 divine emperor divine souls that had entered this Eastern divine tomb and never came out again. Their souls were scattered and they became slaves for eternity. The first tombstone in this divine tomb was engraved with the words, Headless Monarch, Xing Tian's tomb. Jiang Chen looked at Gongjuimu, Shen Yuhu and the others. His strength had increased once again. This time, Jiang Chen had become a true void god expert. Jiang Chen waved his hand. More than 100,000 people in the Zulong Tower were thrown out. The entire Mount Meru was filled with the aura of death. In the morning and evening, everything was in a stalemate. There were even some flames burning on the ancient trees. Jiang Chen is too powerful. This time, I'm completely convinced. We're both from the immortal world, but he has such heaven-defying means. Looks like we're really not as good as him. Who's right? An expert is destined to stand at the top. Those who died can't blame anyone else. 100,000 divine souls were destroyed. How satisfying. But those 9th-grade immortal sovereigns and void gods can only blame themselves for being too conceited. Yeah, a wise man submits to circumstances. They thought too highly of themselves. They deserve to die. Countless people could not help but worship Jiang Chen. Those who died could only blame themselves. Jiang Chen had given them a chance, but they did not know how to cherish it. This was the saddest part. Chapter 2185. This guy is really talented. Even the dawn sky golden lightning can't do anything to him. Xueqi said in a deep voice. Even so, we still have to kill him. Only by killing him can we change the current situation completely. The inheritance of the craftsman god must not be left in their hands. Obviously, at this moment, Gongyang Juimu had already made up his mind. If they failed, they might be consigned to eternal damnation. However, did they have any other choice now? Absolutely not. They and Jiang Chen were irreconcilable enemies. There was no such thing as taking a step back. Motherfucker. I knew that little Chunzi wouldn't fall so easily. Ha ha. Look, this guy is even more arrogant now. He's completely suitable to be Master Dog's human pet now. Am I right, goddess? De Huang rubbed against Goddess Luo's jade-like legs. Goddess Luo did not know whether to laugh or cry. Luo Wenhao was so angry that he wanted to cry but had no tears. This bastard De Huang dog was really too hateful. Not to mention that he was daring in his lust. Goddess Luo did not even care about it. But thinking about it, who would care about a dog? Jiang Chen's strength has become stronger, Moling Dongchen said with a solemn expression. Moling Dongchen said with a solemn expression. Although Jiang Chen's strength was strong, the ones standing in front of him were the Xueqi brothers and the Xueqi brothers. They were one of the overlords in the divine tomb. In the past, there had never been such a terrifying scene in the divine tomb. It was the first time in millions of years that an immortal cultivator was suppressing a divine soul expert. Now we can finally fight, right? Jiang Chen looked at Gongyang Juimu and the others. He had been waiting for this moment for too long. 100,000 divine souls were annihilated in an instant. Why would he be afraid of them? Your death is here, Jiang Chen. If you surrender now, you might be able to leave your body intact. Xueqi sneered. You really talk too much. You will definitely be the fastest to die. Jiang Chen looked at Xueqi in disdain. The current him had broken through to the early void god realm. He was even more terrifying than before. Jiang Chen was not afraid of facing a late void god. 100,000 divine souls, 1 million heroic spirits, all for my use. Slaughter Dragon Seal. Jiang Chen roared furiously and gathered 100,000 souls. His Slaughter Dragon Seal's power had reached a new level, becoming even more terrifying. The aura of death spread across the entire divine tomb, causing Mount Meru to tremble. As soon as the Slaughter Dragon Seal was unleashed, Gongyang Juimu took a few steps back and did not dare to attack forcefully. As for Xueqi and the other brothers, they didn't believe it at all. They charged forward and unleashed the might of the Slaughter Dragon Seal, slaughtering the heavens and earth. When the Dragon Seal landed on the ground, it shocked everyone. The gigantic black shadow directly enveloped the 11 Xueqi brothers. Heartless forgetting sword, unstoppable between the heavens and earth. Xueqi slashed his sword towards the sky. However, Jiang Chen's Slaughter Dragon Seal forced the 11 brothers to retreat. Their divine souls were getting weaker and weaker. No, this is impossible. How can he be so powerful? He's just an early void god. Xueqi's eyes were filled with disbelief. A single Slaughter Dragon Seal had forced them to retreat, leaving them with no strength to fight back. This was too shocking. No one could stay out of it. Not even Gongyang Juimu. This fella is too heaven-defying, right? Gongyang Juimu murmured. His heart couldn't help but feel solemn. This battle will surely set off a storm in the divine tomb. Ha ha ha. What do you think, little bastard? If you're not convinced, then let my human pet, little Chunzi, fight with you. If you can defeat him, then you're qualified to fight with me. De Huang dog barked at Luo Wenhao. Luo Wenhao took a deep breath. Jiang Chen's mightiness was simply unstoppable. All of you must die. The tomb of the god of sin was originally a peaceful place for divine souls. But because of you, who are neither human nor ghost, it has become such a foul atmosphere. Today, I will enforce justice on behalf of heaven and make all of you disappear. Jiang Chen stood up proudly, breaking through the dark clouds. He held the heavenly dragon sword and pointed it at Xueqi and his brothers. Jiang Chen's sword aura was wild, shocking people's souls. Golden light flowed, dragons and phoenixes danced. There seemed to be an incomparably fierce golden dragon in the heavenly dragon sword that was about to break free. No one can escape from here. If you want to kill me, you have to be prepared to be killed. Even if you're just a soul, then I'll purify you completely. Jiang Chen looked down on the crowd. He stepped on the void and used the Azure Dragon's 5 steps, completely suppressing Shen Yuhu and his brothers. I don't believe that you can do anything to me. Shen Yuhu roared and faced Jiang Chen. Countless afterimages intertwined with Jiang Chen. The heavenly dragon sword was sharp and the sword radiance was hundreds of zhang long, illuminating the void. Under Jiang Chen's Azure Dragon's 5 steps, 5 of Shen Yuhu's brothers died. Even Shen Yulong couldn't escape from this fate. Now there were only 6 brothers left. Shen Yuhu stared at Jiang Chen angrily. Jiang Chen's mightiness was too terrifying. He couldn't resist it at all. Jiang Chen, I won't rest until one of us is dead. I'll kill you, Arg. Shen Yuhu was extremely mad. For so many years, he and his brothers had been relying on each other through life and death. Now, all 6 of them were completely destroyed by Jiang Chen. If they had the chance, they could perhaps kill enough 9th-grade immortal sovereigns and absorb enough essence, chi and soul to reincarnate and regain their divine position. But now, it seemed like it was useless. Since some of their brothers had already died, they couldn't go back anymore. Gongyang Juimu, you bastard. What are you waiting for if you don't take action now? If I die, do you think you can live alone? Do you think Jiang Chen will let you go? Shen Yuhu gritted his teeth. He had reached the point where he had to fight with his life on the line. Gongyang Juimu nodded. He knew that he couldn't absolve himself from the blame. This was their last chance. All right. Gongyang Juimu quickly took action. A terrifying thunderous force was unleashed, pressing towards Jiang Chen. As a divine emperor divine soul, Gongyang Juimu's strength was naturally incomparably powerful. As soon as Gongyang Juimu took action, the 7 of them joined hands and barely managed to resist Jiang Chen's attack. However, Jiang Chen's heavenly dragon sword became even more ferocious. Thousands of swords were broken and lost their splendor. Except for Shen Yuhu, the other 5 brothers took out 1 sword each. No one could stop Jiang Chen. No one could stop his footsteps. Whoever dares to block my path, I'll kill the god. Whoever dares to block my path, Jiang Chen, will not have a good ending. This is your final destination. Go to hell. Jiang Chen stood proudly. Now, only Shen Yuhu and Gongyang Juimu were left. Chapter 2186. This guy is too powerful. Luo Wenhao could not help but say. His eyes were filled with fear. Even with his strength, it was still difficult for him to fight against Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's power was unstoppable now. I'm afraid that he can already compete with the younger generation of our Mo clan. He's invincible when he's only an early void god. He's invincible under the true god realm. It really makes us feel ashamed. Moling Dongchen said with a bitter smile. That's right. It seems like even the people of the divine world can't be careless. Jiang Chen might not be the only one in the immortal world. Luo Wenhao continued. But such a person is destined to be extraordinary. If he can grow up, he will definitely make a name for himself in the divine world. Moling Dongchen firmly believed that as long as Jiang Chen did not die young, he would definitely be a beautiful person in the divine world in the future. But at the same time, he was worried because Jiang Chen was too dazzling. Compared to some of the talented youths in the divine world, Jiang Chen would definitely make people jealous. But in the end, those who did not make people jealous were mediocre. A talented person like Jiang Chen was destined to be the center of attention no matter where he went. Jiang Chen held the heavenly dragon sword in his hand, stepping on the void and traversing across the heavens and earth, chasing after Shen Yuhu and Gongyang Juimu. I don't even need to take action against these 2 trash. Little Chunzi can deal with them. The only pity is that you guys might not be able to see my brilliant and handsome side. This is the saddest part. De Huang Dog said proudly. Moling Dongchen smiled but did not say anything. This guy is too funny. But he could feel that this De Huang Dog's strength was definitely not weaker than his. Although De Huang Dog always scolded and laughed, he was very intelligent. His relationship with Jiang Chen was not ordinary at first glance. Will you die if you stop being arrogant? Luo Wenhao looked dissatisfied. He had always wanted to stew this lecherous dog. You want to woo my goddess with your pathetic appearance? Wasn't that a fool's dream? Che, with this grandpa dog in front of you, even if it's a Q number, it's not your turn. You still have the face to stand here? Lord Dog's fart stinks. Do you want to eat another one? De Huang's expression was one of action. He wagged his tail and looked like he was the number 2 in the world. Damn it, I'm so unlucky to meet such a shameless dog. Luo Wenhao cursed in a low voice, but he did not dare to continue to compete with De Huang, because if this guy really farted, he would definitely be seriously injured, and his spirit would probably be destroyed. The two of them might not be able to hold on much longer. Goddess Luo murmured. At this moment, Jiang Chen was unstoppable. He soared into the sky, using the 9 phantom wolves and teleported. With a slash of his sword, Xueqi who was turned into ashes. Golden light shone everywhere, illuminating the entire Mount Meru. In the end, Xueqi who did not even let out a scream. In the end, Gengjuimu also slowly retreated. His eyes were finally filled with fear. Let me go, Jiang Chen. Even if you kill me, you won't be able to escape from here. Once I die, someone will find you. At that time, no one in the divine tomb will be able to save you. Gengjuimu said fiercely. He was already at a disadvantage if he wanted to fight with his life on the line. Therefore, Gengjuimu had no choice but to do so. This was his last chance. Do you think that I will let you go? Isn't that just looking for trouble for yourself? I have always been kind to my friends. But to my enemies, I would rather kill 1,000 wrongly than let one go. Do you think that there's a need for you to live? You're neither human nor ghost. The divine tomb was supposed to be your home. But you've plundered and killed those who had gone through untold hardships, hoping to enter the divine world one day. You've turned all their hopes into despair. Don't you deserve to die? I don't know how much blood your hands have been stained with. It's not too much to kill you 10 times over. Jiang Chen stared at Gengjuimu coldly. He hated him to the bone. He was not a saint. He had also killed countless people. But at the very least, there must be a bottom line. These divine souls killed anyone they saw. For millions of years, they had killed countless 9th-grade immortal sovereigns in order to regain their position as gods. Those who had gone through untold hardships and exhausted their entire life's potential to become immortal sovereigns. They thought that entering the divine world would bring them a different scene. They thought that they would be able to step into a higher-level battlefield. But they had never thought that they would be buried in the divine tomb. They did not even know where the gate of the divine world opened. How miserable and sorrowful was this? I haven't killed many people. I really haven't killed many people. Gengjuimu said in a deep voice. Jiang Chen couldn't help but sneer and snort disdainfully. I didn't kill them, but they died because of me. If you think that you deserve to die, then you deserve to die. Jiang Chen's killing intent had been triggered. He would never hold back. Then give it a try. Let's see if you can kill me. I won't rest until one of us is dead. A cold glint flashed in his eyes and the corner of his mouth showed a trace of coldness. He was already dead now. Therefore, he would definitely fight crazily. Even if he died, he would never let Jiang Chen have a good time. Jiang Chen. Prince Jiang Chen, please be careful. Jiang Xinxin said in a low voice. She kept mumbling something while looking at Jiang Chen in the sky. Her mind was racing. Don't worry. Nothing will happen to Boss Jiang Chen. After killing 100,000 divine souls and breaking through, the current young master Jiang Chen is no longer the same as before. He can't be compared to the past. Lu Dong said with a smile. He was full of confidence in Jiang Chen. Lu Dong knew that he might not be able to fight against Jiang Chen, even if they were both at the early Void God realm. The heavenly dragon's sword in his hand became even more terrifying. When the sword moved, Lu Dong could feel his body trembling. That sword was like a great killing weapon in the heavens and earth. You no longer have a chance. Jiang Chen sneered and pointed his sword at Gengjuimu. Gengjuimu was fighting with his life on the line. He was not willing to be destroyed by Jiang Chen just like that. He wanted to regain his divine position. This time, if it wasn't because of Jiang Chen's interference, he would have completed his transformation. Regaining his position as a god was just around the corner. However, Jiang Chen had destroyed all of his dreams and millions of years of effort. Everything vanished in an instant. Kill without mercy. Jiang Chen executed the Azure Dragon's 5 steps. Each of his steps shook the sky and shattered the void. At this moment, Gengjuimu's figure could no longer hide as he trembled. Chapter 2187. However, it was too late. Jiang Chen was wielding the heavenly dragon sword above the void. The sword aura was terrifying. Gong Juimu was unable to withstand the sharpness of the sword. One could imagine how terrifying Jiang Chen was. When the 9 swords fell, the divine soul was destroyed. Gong Juimu's eyes stared at Jiang Chen. However, he still fell in the end, completely vanishing into thin air. The entire Mount Meru was in silence. Hundreds of thousands of human cultivators were watching this scene. The man who looked down upon the heavens was holding a sword, like a peerless war god, standing proudly. The cold wind blew past, not stirring up any dust, not falling into the mundane world. "We're saved. Ha ha, we're saved. It's all thanks to friend Jiang Chen said. Yeah. Otherwise, we would have become divine souls. If we die, even our divine souls might not be left behind. Brother Jiang Chen, we'll follow you. At least in the divine tomb, you're our boss. Brother Jiang Chen is invincible. We worship you as our king." Countless people cheered after the silence, shaking the entire Mount Meru. Jiang Chen's heart was as calm as still water. He did not feel any emotion. Because saving these people was his wish. He just could not bear to see the world being in trouble. Everyone has their own bottom line. Even at this moment, facing hundreds of thousands of 9th-grade immortal sovereigns and void gods, he did not even frown, nor did he feel any emotion. His goal, his wish, was to move forward, to soar into the sky, and stand at the peak of the divine world. That was Jiang Chen's lifelong glory. He was born to be a man above all others. Killing Gong Juimu seemed to have caused everyone to cheer wildly. Jiang Chen reached out his hand. A divine spark of a divine emperor quietly fell into Jiang Chen's hand, along with 12 peak hierarch divine sparks. At this moment, the Zulong Tower was clearly emitting a strong desire to devour the godheads. You can refine this god emperor's godhead on your own. It will be greatly beneficial to your godhead, as it can completely stabilize your godhead. As for the other 12 peak ultimate god divine sparks, you can refine them into 12 fire spirits. They will become upgraded puppets as your level increases. Fire God Guard? Jiang Chen was slightly shocked. He never thought that Hong Lian, who hated him to the core, would actually take the initiative to talk to him. That's right. The Fire God Guards were refined by my father, and I added a strand of my origin flame into them. At their strongest, the 12 Fire God Guards could reach the peak of God King realm. However, due to the corrosion of time, their power had been constantly weakened. Even their artifact spirits had gradually disappeared. If you could integrate the divine spark into them, the 12 fire divine guards would definitely be able to regain their former glory. The strength of their bodies was comparable to an essence divine artifact. For the current you, it would definitely be a great killing weapon. Hong Lian's words made Jiang Chen's mind spin. If the 12 fire god guards were to be embedded into the peak ultimate god divine sparks, their strength would definitely increase greatly. Moreover, the Fire God Guard's artifact spirits had already disappeared. Now that they had integrated the divine spark, there would definitely be another earth-shattering change. It's really amazing. As expected of the craftsman god, Jiang Chen said from the bottom of his heart. Who would dare to imagine a peak divine king puppet? How powerful would it be? Moreover, it was not just a divine soul but a true divine king from the divine world. Jiang Chen dared not imagine it at all. Amazing my ass. These 12 fire god guards were used to guard the entrance. Hong Lian sneered and said. Then, her voice disappeared without a trace. Jiang Chen touched his nose and could not help but smile. It was really embarrassing. However, the current him was definitely far from the craftsman god in terms of foresight and knowledge. There was no doubt about it. Therefore, Jiang Chen did not think too much about it. He knew that Hong Lian was trying to improve his strength. She was doing it out of kindness, but it made others feel that she was doing something bad. It's just because of this woman's cold nature, right? Thinking about it, it shouldn't be. Shouldn't the karmic fire of the Red Lotus be passionate like fire? If even a gatekeeper was so powerful, then it went without saying how terrifying the craftsman god was. He was known as the strongest person below the god emperor realm. What kind of honor was that? Jiang Chen refined the 12 divine sparks and integrated them into the 12 fire god guards' bodies. As expected, their strength was still at the peak void god realm. However, their terrifying eyes had become sharper and sharper. Jiang Chen left a trace of his soul imprint on the 12 fire god guards. They could appear and disappear at any time with just a thought. Finally, Jiang Chen refined Gongyang Juimu's Divine Emperor Divine Spark. Although the increase in his strength was only a few hundred dragon marks, his divine spark had become more solid and stable. He had completely stabilized his cultivation at the early void god realm. The 2.4 million dragon marks in Jiang Chen's body were intertwining with each other. His strength was boundless and could move mountains and fill up seas. As long as he could condense 2.5 million dragon marks, he would be able to break through to the mid-void god realm. Little Chenzi, good job. You've made me proud. Kakaka. De Huang dog wagged his tail and walked towards Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen looked at the dog's arrogant expression and did not know whether to laugh or cry. You damn dog, get lost. Jiang Chen kicked De Huang dog away. De Huang turned around beautifully and turned back into a pug, jumping into Goddess Luo's arms. The current Goddess Luo did not have the same feeling as before. This pug was cute, but whenever she thought of how this De Huang dog might be lecherous before, she would get angry. Big Yellow looked at Jiang Chen as if he was a good brother. He was beaming with joy and his eyes were glittering with golden light. How could Jiang Chen not know that this dog was in heat of love? Obviously, he had fallen in love with Goddess Luo. Jiang Chen could not bear to look at this scene. This time, it's all thanks to you, brother Jiang Chen. Luo Wenhao ignored the shameless and disgusting De Huang dog and looked at Jiang Chen. He said sincerely with admiration in his eyes, "Yeah, if it wasn't for you, we might have died here. Even if we are from the divine world, I'm afraid there's no way out." Moling Dongchen said with a smile. There was a trace of relief at the corner of his mouth. These souls should have died in the first place. They are already dead, and this is only their resting place. However, they want to be reborn, and the price they have to pay is to kill countless immortal cultivators. The heavenly Tao is reincarnation. It's just karma. Jiang Chen said. By the way, brother Mo, do you know where my brother Long Shersan is? Jiang Chen looked extremely solemn as he looked at Moling Dongchen. Damn it. Is that damned monkey with you? Little Chenzi. De Huang dog also pricked up his ears. You couldn't come out from the refining god palace. Brother Long Shersan went into the refining god palace, ignoring everyone's obstruction. He was burned by the karmic fire of the red lotus. What? Chapter 2188. Listen to me. Brother Long Shersan was not refined by the karmic fire of the red lotus. Even we were shocked. We did not expect him to benefit from the misfortune. He obtained the golden eyes, fiery eyes, and killed Ling Tianba, Bing Chan, Ao Tian, and the elders of the Ao family. He broke through Mount Meru and disappeared. After Moling Dongchen finished his words, Jiang Chen let out a sigh of relief. He thought that Long Shersan was really refined by the karmic fire of the red lotus. Now, it seemed that the monkey was really lucky. That's good. Jiang Chen nodded, feeling relieved. This meant that Dragon Shersan wasn't dead. It was just that his whereabouts were unknown. Next, we will enter the Yuhua boundary between the divine world and the divine tomb. Once we step out of the Yuhua boundary, we will be in the divine world. Luo Wenhao said. There is more than one divine soul in the divine tomb. Although he is one of the best, the number of heavenly gods, divine kings, and peerless experts that have died in the past thousands of years is not just limited to millions of them. We must pass through the Yuhua boundary as soon as possible to enter the divine world. This place is hell on earth. No one is willing to enter it. If it wasn't for the experts of our family who opened the space tunnel and forced us into the divine tomb, we would rather die than enter this place. Brother Luo is right. No one is willing to become a real divine soul. Moreover, our strength has not reached the heavenly god realm. Even if we die, we will only vanish. Moling Dongchen said in a deep voice. Let's leave quickly to avoid unnecessary trouble. As soon as Luo Wenhao finished his words, a bald monk appeared in the air. He looked solemn and extremely depressed. Amitba. May I know if anyone knows Jiang Chen from the 9-region immortal world? The bald monk put his palms together and chanted the name of Buddha. I am Jiang Chen. Who are you? Jiang Chen looked at the bald monk and had a bad feeling about this. This poor monk's name is Xueqi. I went to a devil domain in the northwest with a junior brother. Fortunately, I received the teachings of a senior from a Buddhist sect. He gave a lecture for 30 days, benefiting us for the rest of our lives. However, just as the senior was about to ascend to heaven and return to immortality, an incomparably terrifying peerless fiend god appeared. This guy scattered a total of 17 of us. 15 of us died on the spot, and the only ones who survived were me and junior brother Tyrant. He said that as long as you can find Jiang Chen, you will definitely be saved. Xueqi said solemnly. You mean Tyrant? Where is he now? Jiang Chen narrowed his eyes. It seemed that Tyrant had also entered the divine tomb. This was something he had never expected. He didn't come in with the 3 of them. Could it be that there was another way to enter the divine tomb? However, now was not the time to think about such things. He needed to find Tyrant as soon as possible. Who captured the monk? De Huang also squinted his eyes. Even the monk had entered the divine tomb. It seemed like it was getting more and more interesting. However, the only thing they could do now was to save Tyrant. That extremely powerful divine soul could suppress me completely. If it wasn't for Tyrant using all his strength, I guess I wouldn't be able to escape from death. However, he was captured by that powerful divine soul. However, that divine soul didn't seem to threaten his life because he wanted the things on Tyrant. Xueqi continued. In other words, the monk should be fine for the time being, right? Jiang Chen heaved a sigh of relief. Thank you, Master Xueqi. Let's not waste any more time. De Huang, let's go. Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. De Huang jumped down from Goddess Luo's embrace reluctantly. However, at this moment, De Huang knew what was more important. Hence, he would not hesitate at all. Jiang Chen, although we are not as powerful as you, we should be able to help. We will go with you. Moling Dongchen said. Yeah, more people means more strength. You're our savior. Luo Wenhao was not to be outdone. Brother Jiang Chen, we pledge our lives to follow you. Their voices resounded in Jiang Chen's ears. Even though he was a person who was not easily moved by emotions, his heart still palpitated a little. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your kindness. However, this time we're going to save my brother. The situation is urgent. Moreover, all of you can enter the divine world. There's no need to take this risk with me. I can't let all of you follow me and take the risk with me. Otherwise, I, Jiang Chen, will not be able to bear it. All right, everyone, let's meet again in the divine world. Jiang Chen glanced at De Huang Dog and followed Master Xueqi. They were ready to depart any time. Let the few of us go with you. Moling Dongchen insisted. In the end, Moling Dongchen, Goddess Luo, Luo Wenhao, Jiang Xinxin, Yexing Yunwang, Lu Dong, Mo Kehan and the others followed Jiang Chen to save Tyrant. Mount Yin Kue was covered in a haze that stretched for thousands of kilometers. It was a wasteland, covered in yellow sand, and filled with broken walls and ruins. There was an evil aura everywhere, and even the sky was filled with a terrifying pressure that made it hard for people to breathe. The surrounding mountains were undulating and endless. Tombstones were standing in great numbers. The cawing of crows could be heard. In the quiet Mount Yin Kue, it looked strange and gloomy. There was no grass or trees. Not even a blade of grass could be seen. Within the radius of 10,000 miles, everything was covered with the color of blood and gray. Everyone had an incomparably solemn expression on their faces. After entering this region, they also felt a great pressure. This is Mount Yin Kue and the Blood Dragon Cave. This is the abode of the Divine Soul Expert. Xueqi shook his head and said. His eyes were solemn. He even showed a trace of fear towards this guy. After all the people who were discussing Tao with him were killed. Only he and Tyrant were left. That tragic scene still gave him goosebumps when he thought about it. Mount Yin Kue, Blood Dragon Cave? Jiang Chen furrowed his brows. So, Tyrant was captured by these people? Who dares to act rashly here? Come out and kowtow to Master Dog. Maybe I will spare your life. Big Yellow was swaying back and forth in front of Jiang Chen, acting like a mighty general, showing off his prowess. As soon as De Huang Dog finished his words, the whole mountain shook. The whole Mount Yin Kue seemed like it was going to collapse. On the ridge of Mount Yin Kue, there was a huge stone tablet that was tens of thousands of feet high. It rose from the ground. Rocks rolled down, the earth trembled, and ghosts cried and wolves howled. A dog dares to talk nonsense in my Mount Yin Kue. Looks like you've come to die. I, revered Ren Chen, will kill you today to restore the prestige of my Mount Kue. A cold laugh rang out. The divine soul of a god emperor stood proudly in the void. A bald old monk with a long beard appeared there. He coldly looked at Jiang Chen and the others with disdain. Master Dog can kill you with a fart. Are you the one who captured the monk? Big Yellow had a fierce look on its face as it grinned. So you came prepared. Oh, no wonder. A fish escaped the net. Stinky monk, you will all die here today. Ren Chen squinted his eyes. When he saw Xueqi, his killing intent became stronger. Let's see if you have the ability. Chapter 2189. Little bastard, who do you think you are? How dare you yell in front of this master dog? Eat my fart. De Huang Dog didn't care about that. He turned around and let out a fart. The stench filled the air. Ren Chen quickly retreated. His facial expression changed a few times. The stench was so strong that his body was trembling. This fart was something Ren Chen didn't expect, because he didn't expect this big yellow dog to be so shameless. Damned dog, I will crush your bones and scatter your ashes today. Ren Chen was infuriated. No matter who it was, they would feel nauseous after being smelled by such a stinky and domineering fart. This was an insult to him. A divine emperor. Obviously, Ren Chen's pride was unparalleled. He was still living in his own world. Gagaga. Let's see if you have the ability to do so. Do you really think that you're a peerless divine emperor? You're just a soul that's about to die, and you still dare to show off? De Huang Dog harumphed coldly, looking at Ren Chen with disdain. De Huang, why bother talking to this kind of person? Kill him with your fart. Jiang Chen said with a faint smile. Yeah, this kind of trash is able to capture the monk. Seems like this guy hasn't made any progress. It's really embarrassing. De Huang Dog said with disdain. After rescuing the monk, I'll definitely teach him a lesson. You guys are too much. I'm going to kill all of you. Ren Chen roared in anger and charged towards De Huang Dog. The spear in his hand stirred the void, creating a deafening noise. Jiang Chen frowned. A true dragon palm was unleashed. A dragon roar was heard. The terrifying seal hit Ren Chen's body. Ren Chen was sent flying. His shadow became weaker and weaker. One look and anyone could tell that he was heavily injured. After forcing Ren Chen back with a palm strike, the latter's eyes were filled with fear. He never thought that a mere early void god would be able to force him back. Moreover, he was heavily injured. This was simply unimaginable. Jiang Chen shook his head. Although this fellow was also a god sovereign, his strength was at most equal to Shen Yuhu. Divine soul powerhouses had varying strengths. This Ren Chen could be considered strong, but he couldn't be called a true powerhouse. At least in the tomb of the god of sin, it was impossible to have such strength. Looks like this guy is really too weak. He can't even withstand a single blow. Moling Dongchen smiled and said, That's right. He offended Jiang Chen, so he's probably going to die soon. Luo Wenhao also laughed. Just you wait and see. Mount Kue is not a place you can casually set foot on. Ren Chen gritted his teeth and quickly ran away. After he ran away, the blood-red steel on the ridge of Mount Kue rose up again, piercing through the clouds. The rumbling sound was even more deafening. This time, even Jiang Chen frowned his eyebrows tightly. A Sanskrit voice that covered the sky reverberated in Mount Kue. A blood-red hole was revealed from the blood-red steel. It looked hollow and abrupt. An inexplicable pressure shrouded everyone's heart. I'm just a kid. How dare you act wildly in Mount Kue? It seems like you guys really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. I've already killed that little monk. You guys are too late. A gloomy voice was heard. A group of dark clouds that shrouded above their heads floated and converged. Only the voice could be heard, but no one could see the person. Since you've killed that monk, you'll have to pay with your blood. Today, I'm going to wash Mount Kue and Blood Dragon Cave with blood. Jiang Chen said faintly while staring at the group of dark clouds above the void. What a big tone. Aren't you afraid that the wind will cut your tongue? Here, you guys will die without a burial place. A low and sorrowful voice was heard from the dark clouds. Stop pretending to be mysterious. Come out if you have the ability. I'll kill you with my fart. Before De Huang finished his words, he was shrouded by the dark clouds. Jiang Chen slashed down with his sword. The dark clouds gathered and shrouded the heavenly dragon sword. Jiang Chen wanted to pull out the heavenly dragon sword, but it was to no avail. The dark clouds pressed down on the city. Between heaven and earth, everything seemed to be controlled by the dark clouds. Everyone became hesitant. They wanted to take action, but found that there was no way to do it. "Get out of here!" Jiang Chen roared. The power of the heavenly dragon sword rippled out. One sword light shone on the 14 provinces. The dark clouds were finally forced to retreat. De Huang Dog was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat. "Damn it! This time I've kicked an iron plate," De Huang said in a low voice and muttered to himself. "I'm afraid this person is a little strange. Could it be?" Luo Wenhao said in a deep voice. "It's very possible. We were frightened by that kind of pressure just now. We couldn't do anything at all. He's too powerful. He's so powerful that we can't even reach him." Moling Dongchen said. His words were filled with fear and trembling. "It's the Emperor's prestige. However, it is an incomplete Emperor's might," Goddess Luo said faintly. However, the heaviness in her words was self-evident. At this moment, De Huang jumped into Goddess Luo's arms. "Damn it. This is the first time I feel scared. Luo, you have to protect me." De Huang Dog's extremely shameless spirit was vividly displayed at this moment. Luo Wenhao could not wait to eat the dog's meat. However, this dog was too good at picking the right time. Jiang Chen looked at the terrifying dark clouds coldly. The pressure on him was relatively lesser. After all, the power of the heavenly dragon sword was not to be underestimated. The primal origin treasure was truly unstoppable. Even the dark clouds were a little afraid of it. Could it be that he's really the soul of a great emperor? Jiang Chen frowned and said in a deep voice. Why would the soul of a great emperor appear here? The prestige of a great emperor is immortal. No matter if it's the divine tomb or the divine prison, they can't control it. Moreover, it's out of the 3 realms and not within the 5 elements. The prestige of a god emperor is not something that we can imagine. Goddess Luo patted De Huang Dog's head as if she was comforting him and said in a low voice, "Little girl, you're quite knowledgeable. Unfortunately, it's too late for you to know about it. Since you're here, stay." Then, the dark clouds slowly condensed into a human figure. The man's body was sturdy and his eyes were sharp. He was wearing a black robe and his aura covered the sky. It was as if he could destroy the stars, move the mountains and fill the seas. This is the prestige of a great emperor? Jiang Chen thought. The man was surrounded by dark clouds. His long hair was draped over his shoulders. His eyes were shining with black light and extremely cold. Even if you have the prestige of a great emperor, you're just a remnant soul. Amokehan sneered and said. But at this moment, the black-robed man raised his hand and a dark cloud shrouded Amokehan. Amokehan was sent flying and blood spurted out from his mouth. He did not even have the strength to fight back. Even if Jiang Chen wanted to take action, he did not have the chance as the man was too fast. In his hand, there was a ball of water formed from condensed water vapor, floating in the air. I can feel that your strength should be the strongest. Chapter 2190. Just as expected. Water droplets splashed onto Jiang Xinxin, Amokehan and Lu Dong. The 3 of them were instantly frozen and became ice sculptures. Their bodies were motionless as they were sealed by the ice. It was terrifying. Jiang Chen frowned as if he was facing a formidable enemy. This fellow was too terrifying. Even Jiang Chen's heavenly dragon sword was being pushed back by the cold air. Jiang Chen had to use the 5 elemental true fire to melt the ice on the heavenly dragon sword. You are the ancestor of darkness, the great demon god emperor, Yi Shui Han. Goddess Luo Langlang said. Her pupils shrunk as she took 2 steps back. Her chest was heaving up and down. Apparently, she was shocked by the black-robed man. The prestige of a great emperor was extraordinary. Even though he had died for millions of years and only a remnant soul was left, he was still not someone that ordinary people could compete with. I can't believe that someone still remembers my name, Yi Shui Han murmured. He couldn't help but look at Goddess Luo again. God Luo clan seems to have good foresight. However, no one can leave here alive today. The legendary ancestor of darkness, the great demon god emperor, Yi Shui Han. It seems like we can't escape today. Moling Dongchen smiled bitterly and shook his head. His face was full of shock and he was even a little disheartened. The great demon god emperor is unparalleled in the world. How could he fall? However, a god emperor has not appeared for nearly 70 million years. Some even said that the god emperors had gone into seclusion. Some said that all the god emperors had fallen after a shocking battle. Luo Wenhao said in a low voice as he looked at Yi Xuehan. He was also shocked. Jiang Chen looked at Yi Xuehan. His feeling was not that strong. After all, he had not entered the divine world. He would not understand how high the position of a god emperor was in the divine world. Moreover, the prestige of a god emperor was as high as the heavens. No one dared to go against it. The great demon god emperor, the #1 evil emperor in the divine world. He had fought against 3 people at the same time and was not at a disadvantage. The other 3 were also god emperors. Who would not be afraid of such prestige? Didn't you say that there were no god emperors in the tomb of the god of sin? Luo Wenhao's expression changed. His clan's elder once said that the divine tomb could not trap the divine soul of a god emperor, because the divine soul of a god emperor had already transcended beyond the 3 realms. Although the divine tomb was strange, a god emperor was the supreme ruler of the myriad of worlds. No one could change their will. There are exceptions to everything, Jiang Chen said in a low voice. When he saw the divine soul of the god emperor, the pressure on him was as great as ever. However, no one knew how terrifying the god emperor was. Because, at the level of the god emperor, all methods were useless. The god emperor represented omnipotence. That little monk is an old friend of mine. That's why I must kill him. Since you're here to save him, you can die with him, Yi Xuehan said with a faint smile. Jiang Chen and the others were just ants in his eyes. A dignified god emperor doesn't even have the slightest bit of magnanimity. He's actually the same as those despicable and shameless godly souls. He only wants to kill us cultivators who have yet to enter the god realm, Jiang Chen said with a cold smile. Are you trying to goad me into action? It doesn't seem to work. I naturally have my reasons for wanting to kill that monk. As for you, you're just funerary objects. Not worth mentioning. Yi Xuehan was cold and arrogant. Even if I'm a god emperor, so what if I kill you? In my eyes, if anyone dares to stand in my way, I will definitely not let them go. The prestige of a god emperor is not something you can casually criticize. You're just a bunch of lowly ants. Killing you is like killing a dog. What's the difference? You're really conceited. However, it might be difficult for you to get what you want. Because you've met me. Jiang Chen's eyes were burning. He looked at Yi Xuehan fearlessly. Even if you're a god emperor, so what? If you really have the potential of a god emperor, so what if I'm afraid of you? But now you're just a soul. Why should I be respectful to you? Even so, Jiang Chen would not let him go. Because he captured his brother, Tyrant. If he did not take revenge, they would not live under the same sky. Surrender now, and you might be able to leave your corpses intact, Yi Xuehan said. Do you really think we're sick cats? Subduing the enemy without a fight? Aren't you looking down on us? Jiang Chen sneered. Before the battle even started, Jiang Chen could not do such a thing. Even if he were to die, he wanted to die standing. He wanted to die with dignity. Well done. You dare to fight against a god emperor. You're indeed worthy of admiration. However, you still have to die. Because I won't leave anyone alive. Before you came, you should have been prepared to die, Yi Xuehan said coldly. He really did not want to fight. However, this guy was determined to fight with him. Obviously, he did not know the immensity of heaven and earth. Everyone, follow me and fight. I want to see how terrifying the prestige of a god emperor is. Jiang Chen wanted to compete with Heaven Duke. He was not afraid of the prestige of a god emperor at all. I'm going to die either way. Master Dog will fight with you. De Huang Dog stood beside Jiang Chen fearlessly. That's right. Anyway, this guy has already decided to kill us. Life and death are boundless. We won't forget it even if we don't think about it. So what if we die? Moling Dongchen waved his folding fan and stood on the left of Jiang Chen. Yi Xuehan said arrogantly. It's a worthy death to be able to fight against the divine soul of a peerless god emperor. Ha ha ha. Luo Wenhao was not timid and stood out bravely. Although I haven't entered the divine world, I've seen the prestige of a god emperor. My life is not in vain. Let's fight till the end. Yexing Yunwang's eyes were filled with fighting intent. He also planned to follow Jiang Chen and fight against the divine soul of a god emperor. A bunch of ants. How dare you compete with the brilliance of the moon? How arrogant! I will let you see that the prestige of a god emperor is not something you can resist. Yi Xuehan sneered. A dark cloud of lightning pressed down and broke through the sky. The rolling dark cloud and the peerless thunder rumbled. In just one move, everyone was pushed back. Even Jiang Chen was not an exception. However, he was in a better condition. Although he was pushed back, his situation was not too bad. Blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Jiang Chen's smile became brighter. Because the divine soul of a god emperor made him feel that the prestige of a god emperor was not inviolable. I want the girl of God Luo clan. Follow me. I'll give you a lifetime of glory. Yi Xuehan looked at goddess Luo with burning eyes. Don't even think about it. You dead man. Master Dog will not allow it. De Huang Dog stood in front of goddess Luo proudly. A dog. Overestimating yourself. De Huang gritted his teeth and stared at Yi Xuehan. Yi Xuehan struck with his palm. The palm wind was like lightning. De Huang Dog roared in anger and rushed up. His tough dog head was hit and De Huang Dog was sent flying. He looked extremely miserable. Even his body was broken into pieces. De Huang. Chapter 2191. Motherfucker, how dare you touch my brother? Today, I will fight you to the death. Even if it's the divine soul of an emperor god, I will make you pay for your actions. Jiang Chen held the heavenly dragon sword in his hand and pointed it at Yi Xuehan. You do have some ability. Unfortunately, you are still too weak. If not for the fact that you are only a spiritual body, I would only need a single thought to kill you. That would be enough. Yi Xuehan curled his lips and completely disdained Jiang Chen. However, in the end, you are only a spirit. If I'm afraid of even a spirit, then I might have already failed before even entering the god world. Jiang Chen's murderous aura was like a dragon. He must fight with all his strength against Yi Xuehan. Very well, even if you are a soul, killing you is still as easy as taking something out of my pocket. Yi Xuehan stepped through the void and directly attacked. He attacked crazily and crushed Jiang Chen's shadow with a sharp palm wind. 9 phantom wolves. Jiang Chen's speed suddenly increased. 9 shadows appeared in the void and attacked Yi Xuehan together. But in an instant, Jiang Chen's real body was discovered by Yi Xuehan. A simple but hard-to-avoid punch directly made Jiang Chen unable to hide. With the power of a great emperor, Jiang Chen quickly retreated. The slaughter dragon seal carried the power of resentment of all living beings. The aura of death filled the entire Mount Yin Kuei. The seal linked and was extremely terrifying. But in the eyes of Yi Xuehan, it was not a threat at all. Yi Xuehan's figure moved and disappeared. His shadow turned into a cloud. The slaughter dragon seal hit on Yi Xuehan's shadow, but it was like hitting a sponge. There was no force at all and Yi Xuehan easily dodged it. Jiang Chen's heavenly dragon sword stirred up waves again. The sword edge was sharp and it changed the universe. The power of a primal origin treasure was so sharp that even Yi Xuehan did not dare to take it head-on. After all, he was just a divine soul. But Yi Xuehan was not to be outdone. After all, he was an emperor god. That kind of power was something that Jiang Chen could not compare with. 1,000 miles of ice. Yi Xuehan covered the sky with one hand. Thousands of miles of ice and snow drifted in the air. Everywhere was filled with ice, directly freezing the void. Everywhere was covered in ice and snow. Within a radius of 1,000 kilometers, the chill was so cold that it suppressed everyone's strength to the lowest possible level. 3,000 Flames Dragon Seal. Jiang Chen gathered the 5 elemental true fire, and with a twist of his hand seal, the 3,000 Flames Dragon Seal instantly blotted out the sky and covered the earth, directly blasting towards Yi Xuehan. The 1,000 Li Eye Seal at this moment turned into water mist, filling the space between heaven and earth. It was like the first clear sky after a heavy rain, and the dust had settled. The frigid coldness of the 3,000 Flames Dragon Seal was completely expelled. Moreover, the fusion of ice and fire of the 3,000 Flames Dragon Seal perfectly countered the water changing's icebound 1,000 miles. How could this be? Yi Xuehan quickly retreated after his attack. He had dissolved the 3,000 Flames Dragon Seal, but he was still shocked. With your strength, you are at most a peak void god. Do you think you can block my 1,000 miles of ice? This is impossible, absolutely impossible. Xueqi did not believe that Jiang Chen had such strength. Suddenly, he felt that his Mount Kuei seemed to be covered by a layer of barrier. Old fart, I have no enmity with you. Why do you want to harm me? Xueqi pointed at the sky and scolded. At this moment, even Jiang Chen was slightly surprised. Who is this fella scolding? I know it must be you. Even if I suppress my strength to a peak void god, no one here will be able to leave this place alive. I am a god emperor. My power is unstoppable. Xueqi pointed at the sky and scolded. Jiang Chen frowned. Is this fella crazy? If it wasn't for someone setting up a barrier around Mount Kuei, you would have died just now. Now, I can only unleash the strength of a peak void god. But it should be enough to kill you all. Xueqi's eyes became colder. Your strength is only at the peak void god level? Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold. A peak void god was already so powerful. An ordinary peak void god might not be able to fight against him, but he was still so confident. One could see how terrifying a god emperor was. Moreover, Jiang Chen understood that someone had set up a barrier around this place. That's why Xueqi's strength was restricted. In other words, he still had a chance, a great chance. We're both void gods. Even if you're a god emperor, I don't need to be afraid of you. Jiang Chen said with a smile. Seems like you still don't understand the current situation. Even if we're both void gods, killing you will be as easy as taking something out of my pocket. After all, you don't know how powerful a god emperor is. Xueqi was full of confidence. Jiang Chen was indeed powerful, but he was still a god emperor's divine soul. Even if his strength was restricted by a barrier, he should not be underestimated. Jiang Chen looked at the void. He couldn't feel the existence of the barrier, but he could see that Xueqi was really nervous. This feeling couldn't be faked because his strength was restricted. He could only unleash the strength of a peak void god. Jiang Chen looked at the void. Jiang Chen, will wait and see. As soon as he finished speaking, Jiang Chen took a step forward. Azure Dragon's 5 steps, each step shocking the heavens. Insignificant tricks. It's just a void technique, yet you want to kill me? Haha, what a fool's dream. Xueqi's footwork was exquisite. Every step he took was calculated. The Azure Dragon's 5 steps could not break through the void around Xueqi. Moreover, it could not affect him at all. This was the first time Jiang Chen failed. The Azure Dragon's 5 steps was exquisite and could change the void. However, Xueqi was able to see through it with a single glance. The prestige of a god emperor is too powerful, Jiang Chen thought. Although he was unwilling to admit it, the truth was the truth. It could not be changed. It's lonely at the top, Xueqi said faintly. As he moved, the void was frozen. Cold air filled the air. Ice flowers could be seen everywhere. It was beautiful, but it was full of killing intent. The ice flowers were dazzling like ice blades. They were extremely sharp. At this moment, all of them flew towards Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen held the heavenly dragon sword in his hand. The sword moved like a dragon and a phoenix danced, slashing the ice flowers in all directions. Even so, his body was pierced by dozens of ice flowers. He staggered and retreated with a pale face. Just a... Xueqi shook his head and snorted at Jiang Chen. You're too weak. You don't deserve to have this primal origin treasure. Aren't you talking too much? In fact, you're a bit noisy. Jiang Chen harumphed coldly. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. His body shook and he transformed into a dragon. After the dragon transformation, even Xueqi's expression turned grave. A terrifying aura spread out from Jiang Chen's body. 10 times his combat strength. Now, Jiang Chen's combat strength had reached the level of a late void god. Xueqi couldn't help but become serious. Are you a human or a dragon? I have never seen a dragon like you. Dead people don't deserve to know. I will destroy your divine soul. Jiang Chen grinned and roared. His voice could be heard from 1,000 miles away. Chapter 2192. Xueqi shuttled through the void, holding a huge mace shaped like a wolf's fang. Yin qi filled the air as it swept across. The void buzzed as if it was about to shatter. Jiang Chen did not dare to be careless. Although it was just a divine soul, a remnant soul of a great emperor, even a remnant soul of a great emperor whose strength was suppressed, it still had the prestige of a great emperor. Its strength was unpredictable, so Jiang Chen did not dare to be careless. After transforming into a dragon, Jiang Chen became incomparably violent. His aura was ferocious everywhere. Even Xue Han did not dare to be careless. Jiang Chen's physical strength had also become incomparably powerful. Xue Han's attacks were ruthless and ruthless. Both of them were constantly intertwining with each other. The violent aura was not any weaker than Tian Fengshui Han's. You're really strong. It's a pity that you don't have a great emperor-level soul. You can't stop my prestige of a great emperor. Xue Han sneered. Both of them were evenly matched. No one could gain the upper hand. Moreover, Jiang Chen's great divination art had discovered Xue Han's movement and was pressing on. Even so, he did not gain any advantage over Xue Han. It was still unrealistic for Jiang Chen to suppress Tian Fengshui Han at this moment. You've already lost in terms of soul strength. Xue Han's eyes were cold. The huge mace swept across and collided with the heavenly dragon sword. Xue Han closed his eyes and finally began his powerful attack. Soul collision. Soul extinguishment. 3 feet of ice seal. Xue Han's voice was ethereal. A Sanskrit sound swept across. Jiang Chen, who was above the void, frowned. An invisible soul pressure pressed down on him. Jiang Chen quickly retreated, but there was still no effect. His soul felt like it was going to freeze. That kind of pain was self-evident. Such a terrifying soul attack. Jiang Chen was shocked. Freeze. My soul will help you transcend. Xue Han abruptly opened his eyes, and the spiritual pressure that filled the heavens and earth caused everyone to feel as though they were about to be frozen. Once their spiritual souls were frozen, they would completely lose their consciousness, which was no different from death. Pagoda suppressing divine soul. Jiang Chen clenched his fist, and the Zulong Tower appeared, enveloping everyone. As soon as Jiang Chen's Zulong Tower appeared, Xue Han's expression changed drastically. His eyes were filled with horror, as if the fear in his heart had been ignited. What a terrifying pagoda! What a familiar feeling! Why does my soul feel so uncomfortable? Xue Han didn't expect his plan to backfire. His soul was suppressed by the golden pagoda, and he completely lost the initiative to attack. Instead, he retreated step by step, and his expression was extremely ugly. A dragon's roar shook Xue Han indescribably. I thought I'm going to die. Luo Wenhao's expression was terrible. Being enveloped by Jiang Chen in the Zulong Tower, he let out a sigh of relief. He felt like he had just survived a disaster. Jiang Chen's pagoda is really magical, and it has saved us more than once. Moling Dongchen murmured. You're right. Do you think this is the inheritance of the craftsman god that he has obtained? Luo Wenhao said doubtfully. Why? Do you still want to fight against Jiang Chen? Moling Dongchen laughed. How can I be so inhumane? I thought he was dead and tried my best to dissuade Long San. My Luo clan is not that crazy. Luo Wenhao snorted. It was the truth, and he was just curious. Craftsman god's inheritance. Sigh. If we can return to the divine world, Jiang Chen will definitely set off a storm in the divine world. I believe he will not be mediocre. Moling Dongchen let out a sigh. The inheritance of the craftsman god will definitely make the peaceful divine world bustling again. As for him, being the center of the storm, he won't have a good time either. Luo Wenhao said worriedly. This is not something you guys need to worry about. If we can't get out of here, everything will be nonsense. Goddess Luo said faintly. Looking at De Huang, who was severely injured, she could not bear to see him like this. Her originally calm state of mind had also become emotional. At this moment, a 5-elemental true fire was shot out. Jiang Xinxin and the others who were frozen instantly melted. They were so cold that their faces turned purple. They were shivering as if their souls were going to be taken away. This was not an ordinary freezing. It was the freezing of the soul of a god emperor. If it lasted for a long time, they might even be frozen to death. Jiang Chen looked at Xue Han with disdain and said coldly. What else do you have now? If you want to kill us, these are not enough. It's too early for you to be happy. The soul of a god emperor is not something that you people can imagine. Yi Xuehan was still extremely confident. Even though he was forced back by Jiang Chen's Zulong Tower, he still had the means to punish Jiang Chen. 9 turns 30,000 miles. I shall freeze the heavens. Yi Xuehan roared in rage. A bone-chilling cold intent struck again. The mountains danced like silver snakes, the plains were like wax elephants, and the void was frozen. It was a spectacular scene. Everything was frozen at this moment. 30,000 miles of ice was frozen. The cold intent was shocking and not even a blade of grass could grow. Thunder destruction, I am the only one. Thunder origin, pouring 1,000 miles. Jiang Chen covered the sky with his hand and soared up. The thunder origin in his body instantly burst out. It was majestic and overbearing. The dawn sky golden lightning tore through the air and descended. It completely shattered Yi Xuehan's world of ice, causing it to crumble inch by inch. There was no sign of it being sealed in ice anymore. You have the thunder origin? Yi Xuehan was shocked once again. It was impossible for him to control the origin of lightning, let alone a void god like Jiang Chen. However, he did it. Jiang Chen was a void god, but he did it. His 30,000 miles of ice was broken by Jiang Chen's thunder origin. Thunder and fire were one family. The power of the thunder origin was comparable to the descent of true fire. It was unstoppable. A god emperor is just a... Jiang Chen refuted Yi Xuehan. Because Jiang Chen knew that even if it was a complete god emperor's divine soul, he wouldn't be a match for Yi Xuehan. Because Yi Xuehan was just a remnant soul, he dared to be so arrogant. Good. Beating up a god emperor. Little Chenzi, I will respect you from now on. Ha ha. Although De Huang was heavily injured, he was extremely excited at this moment. Jiang Chen's every step was filled with killing intent. Yi Xuehan was at his wit's end. He believed that Jiang Chen would definitely be able to turn the situation around. Looks like I have to teach you a lesson now. Yi Xuehan's expression became more and more solemn. Do you really think that a god emperor is so easy to defeat? A god emperor will never lose. Just a remnant soul. How can you be so brave? Jiang Chen stood proudly in the sky. No matter what you do, I will not move. Shattering the void. Great darkness sky. Chapter 2193. Not good. Legend has it that this is Yi Xuehan's ultimate killing move, shattering the void and turning the void into ruins. Goddess Luo murmured. Her expression suddenly changed. At this moment, if this place turned into ruins, it would probably be sucked into the black hole of the universe and turned into ashes. God knows how many powerhouses had been buried under this move. Great darkness heaven. Are we really done for? Moling Dongchen smiled bitterly. At this moment, it seemed like even Jiang Chen would not be able to save the situation. After all, Yi Xuehan was the 9 heavens celestial emperor of the divine world. A centipede dies but never falls down. A skinny camel is still bigger than a horse. Yi Xuehan was still a celestial emperor after all. Once we are defeated, I never thought that we would be trapped in this divine tomb. Unfortunately, if it wasn't for the celestial emperor, Jiang Chen would not be defeated. Luo Wenhao gritted his teeth and said. He felt unsatisfied for Jiang Chen and himself. The emperor's prestige is indelible and invincible. Moling Dongchen closed his eyes slowly. Although they were in Jiang Chen's Zulong Tower, countless black holes appeared in front of them. Once they were sucked into the black holes, they would be consigned to eternal damnation. Apart from the celestial emperors, who else could have such means? Although there were people in the immortal world who could tear the void apart, the divine tomb was not the same as the immortal world. The stability of the space in the immortal world and the divine tomb was totally different. But even so, the void was still collapsing. Terrifying black holes kept sucking Jiang Chen into them. Once he was sucked into the black holes, he would be devoured by the black holes and turned into nothingness. This was the most mysterious black hole energy in the entire universe. Edited by Lifer, Fingerfox. Now, let's see what other means you have to contend against me. Ha ha ha. Yi Xuehan laughed coldly. This time, even the heavens could not save him. You're really strong, Jiang Chen said solemnly. Unfortunately, I'm stronger than you. The appearance of a celestial emperor is just a great void technique. Jiang Chen stepped on the void and freely shuttled back and forth like a leisurely void walker. At this moment, everyone was shocked. Only De Huang dog was calmly lying in Goddess Luo's embrace. This, is that true? I can't believe my eyes. Jiang Chen actually dodged countless black holes and traveled through the void. Jiang Chen is omnipotent. I've already told you that my human pet is invincible. But why don't you believe me? You look so worried, but I, Lord Dog, have already seen through everything. De Huang dog's serious attitude made everyone not know whether to laugh or cry. This De Huang dog, at such a crucial moment, actually dared to make them look bad. No, this is impossible. Xueqi was incomparably shocked and his face was ashen. Shattering the void and the black holes couldn't do anything to Jiang Chen. He had already used up all his means, but Jiang Chen was able to withstand all of them. How could Xueqi accept this? One should know that he still regarded himself as a peerless celestial emperor. Failure was more painful than death to him. At this moment, Jiang Chen was holding the divine burying flag and stirring the void. All of the black holes were moving towards Xueqi at the same time. I'm not willing, not willing, not willing. Xueqi's angry roar resounded through the void. His figure was also sucked into the black holes. At this moment, the world returned to nothingness. The black holes devour everything. You've shot yourself in the foot. You reap what you sow, you reap what you sow, ha ha ha. Big Yellow had a profound look on his face, as if he was lecturing someone. In the end, he laid in Goddess Luo's embrace and laughed out loud. Everything returned to tranquility. The entire Mount Kue also became quiet. Come out. Your master is already dead. Do you think you can still escape from my grasp? Jiang Chen's voice reverberated through the entire Mount Kue. Ren Chen's expression changed drastically. He never thought that even the remnant soul of a celestial emperor would be defeated by such a young guy. It was too shocking. Lord Tyrant is here. I dare not be negligent. Ren Chen sent Monk Tyrant out with a smile on his face. He had a flattering expression on his face. When Tyrant saw Jiang Chen and De Huang dog, his eyes lit up and he ran towards them. Fuck. Little Chenzi, I thought I would never see you again. Tyrant said in a deep voice. His eyes were filled with excitement. Unlike the immortal world, this time, they were reunited after surviving a calamity. It's good that you're fine. Ha ha ha, speaking of which, how did you enter the divine tomb? You've reached the early void god realm. Jiang Chen said with a smile. To be exact, I'm at the peak of early void god realm. I'm just one step away from breaking through. Sigh, what's the use of that? I was still captured by that old bastard Xueqi. But you, little Chinzi, you're too fierce. That's the soul of a celestial emperor. I still can't believe that you've killed a celestial emperor's soul. Tyrant couldn't calm down as he thought of this. It's just a remnant soul of a celestial emperor. It's not worth mentioning. Hee. Jiang Chen nodded and chuckled. Kid, you're still the most terrifying one. Although you're only an early void god, even a late void god would have to take a detour in front of you. I feel that there is a mysterious power that seems to be summoning me from within the tomb of the gods. Tyrant said solemnly. Then, did you find it? Jiang Chen said. No, I just sensed it. I was captured by that bastard Xueqi. There's a mysterious force calling out to you? Looks like you're going to have a great opportunity. Then why did Xueqi capture you? He said that I'm his enemy, so he must kill me. But before that, he demanded that I hand over the Virokana spell. How the fuck would I know what the Virokana spell is? But it sounds like a Buddhist scripture. Tyrant said as he rubbed his nose. That should be the case. Looks like your identity is really intriguing. Could it be that you're the reincarnation of a celestial emperor? Ha! Jiang Chen said with a laugh. However, what he said might be the truth. Forget it. That guy almost killed me. I don't want to be a celestial emperor. I'm devout and the Buddha's light shines. That son of a bitch. He's always in trouble. How can there be such a miserable celestial emperor? Tyrant complained to Jiang Chen with tears and snot running down his face. Amit ba. Female benefactor is a beauty that can topple countries. How can she be tarnished by that evil dog? Chapter 2194. Stinky Monk, if it wasn't for my brilliance, do you think you would have the chance to meet such a beautiful lady? You're just a traitor. You don't know how to appreciate me at all. Appreciate your ass. I was saved by little Chen. You arrogant bastard. You're still so cocky. I was almost killed, and you're still in the mood to flirt with girls? Are you still my brother? Damn dog. Tyrant changed his serious expression and started cursing. Everyone was shocked. Even Master Xueqi was a little dumbfounded. The tyrant in the past was not like this. Isn't this Lord Dog seriously injured? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have ended up like this. You don't know how to repay my kindness. When I recover, I will bite you to death, you heartless monk. Ba. Motherfucker. You're cursing again. After saying that, Tyrant bowed lightly towards Master Xueqi. This time, it's all thanks to senior brother Xueqi. Tyrant is grateful to your 8th ancestor. No. It's a slip of the tongue. Thanks senior brother Xueqi for saving my life. Don't mention it. Junior brother Tyrant, it turns out that you're such a genuine person. Xueqi said awkwardly. However, he knew that Tyrant was a genuine person. Such a genuine person. Moling Dongchen found it hard to speak and murmured in a low voice. By the way, what's your next plan? Jiang Chen asked. I want to go to that place. I know there's something I want there. Tyrant said. All right, I'll go with you. Jiang Chen nodded. Master Dog, I'll go too. De Huang Dog jumped down and looked back at Goddess Luo. My goddess, I'm going to the same place with that stinky monk. Don't miss me. Okay. Goddess Luo opened her red lips and only said one word. It was not easy for someone like her, who did not eat the food of the mortal world. Moling Dongchen and the others wanted to help Jiang Chen, but they were stopped by Jiang Chen. You can go to the Yuhua realm and wait for me. I will definitely go. Jiang Chen rejected everyone because he had a feeling that this trip absolutely couldn't be underestimated, and it was very likely that he would be surrounded by dangers. At least you have some loyalty, you damned dog. Tyrant looked at De Huang Dog with a mellow smile. 2 people and a dog embarked on their journey together. In the east, in a dark graveyard, Tyrant relied on the summons and senses in the depths of his heart to come here. Not far away, there were layers of towering palaces that pierced through the clouds. Although it was unknown how many years had passed, the palaces still hadn't collapsed. Outside the palace, there were broken walls and rubble everywhere. Stone statues stood in great numbers, all of them Buddhist living beings, hundreds and thousands of disciples. On the palace, there was a huge bell that was embedded into the glazed tiles of the palace, emitting a Buddhist aura. It's here. Tyrant glanced at Jiang Chen and said, Is this the place that summoned you? Yes, it's here. This seems to be a temple, but I don't know how many years have passed. Tyrant took a step forward, and the surrounding space seemed to give rise to a series of ripples. Minor Thunder Temple. Tyrant silently stared at the 4 large words above the Buddhist hall. It was as if he was extremely moved in the depths of his heart. Minor Thunder Temple. Is this the Minor Thunder Temple of the Divine World? Why do I feel that this place is so desolate and sorrowful? Tyrant murmured. However, Jiang Chen couldn't enter. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't take a step in. It was the same for De Huang Dog. Damn it, does this stupid temple recognize people? This Lord Dog is so handsome. There's no reason why I can't enter. Since we can't enter, forget it. Let's take a walk over there. Jiang Chen said. Go ahead. This Lord Dog's injuries haven't healed yet. I'm too lazy to move. De Huang Dog mumbled and went back to sleep. You should really be reincarnated as a pig in your next life. Snore. As soon as Jiang Chen finished speaking, the damn dog actually started snoring. In the Minor Thunder Temple, Tyrant saw a statue of Vairocana in the Hall of Great Strength. The statue was solemn, and the praying mat under its feet was covered in dust. Tyrant slowly knelt down and kowtowed 3 times in front of Vairocana Buddhich. In an instant, an ancient scripture and a purple gold alms bowl appeared in front of him. Endless golden alms bowl. Vairocana mantra? Tyrant's face changed, and he became extremely solemn. The Vairocana mantra, which even god-emperors were afraid of, actually appeared in front of him after he kowtowed 3 times. It was really unimaginable. This was too mystical. Jiang Chen shook his head, turned around, and walked to a nearby graveyard. Although it was more than 10 miles away, this place was completely different from other places. It was full of auspiciousness, and it didn't seem like a burial ground, but a place to enjoy one's old age. In this cemetery, There weren't many graves, and the tombstones weren't all over the place. Although there was only a piece of wood with inscriptions, it was also simple and neat, as if someone had specially repaired it. There were hundreds of tombstones, and Jiang Chen looked at them one by one, but he couldn't see many of them clearly. Only the first one was clearly written on it. Headless War God Xing Tian's grave. As for the rest of the tombstones, he tried his best to rub his eyes, but he couldn't see what was written on them. Xing Tian, the ancient war god? I think I've heard of this name before. Jiang Chen murmured. Xing Tian Wu Gan Qi. Ferocious will always be there. He was the simplest and most terrifying god. An old voice appeared behind Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen was shocked, as he actually didn't notice the other party. I'm the gravekeeper here, the old man said with a smile. He seemed to be very happy to see Jiang Chen, and he didn't put up his guard against him. Gravekeeper. Jiang Chen murmured. Why? I can't see the words on the tombstones clearly. I can't see them clearly either. The gravekeeper shook his head, indicating that he didn't know. Jiang Chen looked at the gravekeeper deeply. The gravekeeper was only a peak void god, but his appearance made Jiang Chen feel a little strange. Since you're willing to guard the tomb here, why don't you go to the divine world? Jiang Chen asked. He knew that the gravekeeper was a living person with flesh and blood, and not a divine soul. Life is short, grass and trees are short. Go back to where you came from. If you die, you still have to return to the divine tomb. When you're alive, you chase after fame and fortune. When you're dead, you still fight for fame and fortune. Is the divine world a good place to go? Hee. The gravekeeper laughed. You're quite open-minded. Indeed, it's not about life and death. When you're alive, you chase after fame and fortune. When you're dead, it's still the same. Moreover, it's in this world, the divine tomb. Jiang Chen nodded faintly. So why should I let myself go through this torment? The gravekeeper asked. Then how many years have you been guarding here? Jiang Chen asked. The gravekeeper shook his head. Chapter 2195. Is it hard for you to break through to the Void God realm? In the divine tomb, no one can break through to the Void God realm. This is the rule of the divine tomb. You've even forgotten about the passage of time. It's been hard on you. Jiang Chen said with a smile. One day, perhaps you'll come back here. The tombkeeper's words made Jiang Chen frown. Who would curse someone to die? I'll come here too. Will I die too? Jiang Chen asked himself. Will I die too? Will I? He didn't know and he couldn't understand. He had never been to the divine world. He must go there to have the right to speak. Compared to this tombkeeper who had no ambition, he had to work harder. Do you only guard this tomb? Yes, I only guard this place, the tombkeeper said with a smile. Gods have died, but they still have to come back here. What do you think they're doing this for? Jiang Chen was confused. This tombkeeper, what kind of people are they guarding? Gods have died. Demons have perished. The heavens and earth have fallen once again. Some people live, but they're dead forever. Some people die but they live forever. I'm just a tombkeeper. What I'm guarding are the souls of those who have died. I hope that they'll never be disturbed. The tombkeeper stroked the yellow flag in his hand and said softly, Not simple. It's not easy. Jiang Chen nodded silently. All of a sudden, the ancestral dragon pagoda in his body shone brightly. The entire graveyard started to tremble. Whether it was the inscriptions on the stone or the wooden inscriptions, they were all trembling at this moment and sank down slowly. Jiang Chen was shocked. What's going on? Step back. The tombkeeper let out a low roar and waved the yellow flag in his hand. The flag was tattered, but it seemed to contain an incomparably terrifying might. Waves of evil wind blew in from all directions, and the entire tomb seemed to be sinking. The 100 generations tribulation. I have the Xianhuang seal. The tombkeeper's expression was solemn as he waved the banners. The gravekeeper's voice shook the heavens and earth. It was so deafening that even Jiang Chen felt an immense pressure. Old man, do you need help? Jiang Chen said. Take out your pagoda. It might be able to suppress it for a while. Jiang Chen took out the Zulong Tower and released a golden light. Waves of dragon cries sounded, wailing continuously. How sorrowful! How great was this! It was as if this was a promise that would never change throughout the ages. As the tomb guard waved his flag in the wind, the entire tomb shook for half a minute before it finally quieted down. Jiang Chen put away the Zulong Tower, but his whole body trembled. How did he know that there was a Zulong Tower in his body? Old man, who exactly are you? Jiang Chen looked at the gravekeeper doubtfully. He couldn't help but raise his guard. I'm a gravekeeper. However, these restless fellows are always trying to defy the heavens and change their fates. That's why I'm here to suppress them. Guarding the tomb is my duty. The gravekeeper smiled. He was calm and unruffled. Facing Jiang Chen's question, he wasn't worried at all. Little Chenzi. Little Chenzi. Jiang Chen, where are you? Little Chenzi? Don't tell me you've been seduced by a beauty? I've been entrusted by your two tigresses to keep an eye on you. The voices of De Huang Dog and Tyrant echoed in Jiang Chen's ears. Jiang Chen turned around and saw the two of them rushing toward him. Kid, why are you hiding here? We've been looking for you everywhere. Tyrant looked at Jiang Chen and said with a frown. I just came out for a while and you're already out of the Little Lei Temple? Is there nothing inside? Jiang Chen asked. Big brother, I've been inside for 7 days and 7 nights. When I came out, De Huang was already sleeping. Tyrant looked at Jiang Chen with a strange expression. He seemed to be in disbelief. Yeah, you can't be thinking of building a harem of 3,000 beauties, right? I think this idea can be put into practice. I'll help you find a harem of beauties. De Huang Dog grinned and beamed with joy. Didn't I just come out for a while? It's already been 7 days and 7 nights? Jiang Chen sucked in a breath of cold air. I've only spoken a few words with this gravekeeper and 7 days have passed? Jiang Chen was very surprised. Who else is here other than you? Tyrant looked at Jiang Chen with a confused expression. Jiang Chen turned his head abruptly. The tombkeeper had already disappeared without a trace. Even the peaceful tomb had completely vanished. He could not find it at all. I clearly spoke to him just now. How could this be? Jiang Chen murmured. He was extremely shocked, but he was very sure that this gravekeeper definitely existed. However, why did he suddenly disappear? Even the tomb had disappeared with him. This was not something Jiang Chen knew. This place is really too strange. Jiang Chen said quietly. Did you really see the gravekeeper? De Huang Dog's expression became solemn. They believed that Jiang Chen would not lie. I really saw the tombkeeper, and I even used the ancestral dragon pagoda to help him suppress those evil and crooked cultivators. Jiang Chen looked confident. However, the fact was that the gravekeeper had disappeared. The graveyard and the tombstones had also disappeared without a trace. Forget it. Let's leave this place as soon as possible. Hurry to Yuhua Boundary and enter the divine world. That's the most important thing now. Jiang Chen said and shook his head. Since it was a dreamlike adventure, there was no need to keep it in mind. In that case, let's not delay any further. Let's leave this place quickly. Tyrant said in a deep voice. All right, let's go quickly. I'm starting to miss my little Luo Luo. Ha! Speaking of which, is this damn dog really in heat? Tyrant looked at Jiang Chen. It seems so. Ha ha! Jiang Chen and the other two left together and headed to Yuhua Boundary. Yuhua Boundary was the barrier between the divine tomb and the divine world. It would open once every 1,000 years. Every time it opened, there would be a guide. In front of Yuhua Boundary, there were hundreds of thousands of 9th-grade immortal sovereigns who broke through the divine tomb and entered the divine world. Almost everyone knew that the person who saved them was Jiang Chen. If it wasn't for Jiang Chen, they might not even have the chance to enter the divine world. Why is Jiang Chen not here yet? Don't tell me he can't come? Luo Wenhao murmured. Shut your crow's mouth, he said. There's no way he won't come. Moling Dongchen stared at Luo Wenhao. The one who was most worried was Jiang Xinxin. At this moment, the people of the Sword God Alliance were waiting for Jiang Chen's appearance. Yexing Yunwang, Amo Qihan, Lu Dong, even the Jiang Zhuren brothers. Everyone in the Sword God Alliance hoped to see Jiang Chen's appearance. After all, they would go their separate ways after entering the divine world. No one knew if they would have the chance to meet again after entering the divine world. Boss Jiang Chen's righteousness reaches the clouds. I've missed him dearly. I really want to see him again. Yeah. Boss Jiang Chen is unparalleled. Why hasn't he appeared yet? Shut up all of you. Brother Jiang Chen is a lucky man. He will definitely show up. Maybe he has something important to do. Everyone was waiting and hoping that Jiang Chen would appear. Yuhua boundary is about to open. Chapter 2196. Divine light shone brightly and the sky was filled with colorful clouds. The void was boundless and all the realms were united. Is that the divine world? It's so beautiful. There were those who were intoxicated by the process. After millions of years of cultivation, they had finally managed to step into the immortal world and become a true mortal transcendent. It's so beautiful. The divine world is indeed a place that people from all realms want to come to. I feel like I'm going to fall in it. Such a scene should only exist in the heavens. How can it be seen in the mortal world? I'm finally coming to the divine world. Entering the divine world is like stepping into the sky, transforming from a mortal into a god and looking down on a heavenly lord. It's within reach. The divine world that I've been dreaming of is finally in front of me. Ha ha! More and more people started to become excited and their expressions became incomparably solemn. After experiencing countless hardships and obstacles, they finally completed the final transformation and were about to step into the divine world. Who wouldn't be excited? Their faces were filled with excitement. As long as they entered the divine world, they would change completely. From then on, they would no longer be humans but gods. Yuhua Boundary's 1,000-mile rainbow bridge shone brightly. The only barrier in the void was Yuhua Boundary. It was the only passage connecting the divine world and the divine tomb. This is the divine world. After passing through Yuhua Boundary, we'll be in the divine world. However, we might be teleported to different places. The divine world is incomparably vast. We might not be able to visit every corner of the divine world in our lifetime. We can only travel through the void by using the teleportation formation. Luo Wenhao said with a smile and explained to the people behind him. That's right. The size of the divine world is definitely beyond your imagination. There are 9 states and 18 counties. Each county has its own heaven, not to mention the 9 prefectures which are of a higher level. Moling Dongchen said. However, he was worried about Jiang Chen's safety. Could it be that Jiang Chen really couldn't make it here? Once Yuhua Boundary closes, he would never be able to come out. Even his ancestors could only wait for them outside Yuhua Boundary. The divine world is so big. How can I not be here? Ha ha ha. Jiang Chen's hearty laughter echoed thousands of miles away. Countless people cheered because Jiang Chen was their savior. No one was unhappy with Jiang Chen's appearance. The will of the people was more precious than anything else. Jiang Xinxin, Yexing Yunwang, and the others were also extremely excited. Boss Jiang Chen was finally back. Although they might not have the chance to see him again in the future, they would never forget the time they spent in the tomb of the god of sin. Without Jiang Chen, there would be no future for them. Haha, it's good that you're back. The Yuhua Boundary has already been opened. If you didn't come back, you probably wouldn't be able to enter the divine realm. If you want to enter again, I'm afraid it would take 1,000 years. Moling Dongchen patted on Jiang Chen's shoulder and said, God world, here I come. Jiang Chen stared at the other side of Yuhua Boundary with burning eyes. Over there was the place that connected to the divine realm. De Huang Dog was not courteous at all. He immediately turned into a little yellow dog and jumped into Goddess Luo's embrace. This damn dog is too shameless. I really want to stew him. It ba. Tyrant said with a solemn expression. Many people's mouth twitched. This monk was really a man of wine and meat, but Buddha remained in his heart. Pah! You're the shameless one. You flirtatious monk. De Huang Dog did not want to be at a disadvantage. He scolded and quickly hid in Goddess Luo's embrace, pretending to be a kitten. Goddess Luo tapped on De Huang Dog's head and gently stroked it with her jade-like hand. De Huang Dog felt extremely comfortable and he looked intoxicated. What kind of place is this Yuhua Boundary? I feel much more comfortable here than in the tomb of the god of sin. Besides, the dim tomb of the god of sin really makes people uncomfortable. Jiang Chen said with a frown. This Yuhua Boundary connects the divine tomb and the divine world. It's a special place. It's said that several god emperors work together to maintain the order of the divine world. This is the divine light of the divine world. It's emitted from the golden crow's body. Legend has it that there were 9 golden crows that wreaked havoc in the sky in ancient times. Later on, they were shot down by a peerless god-emperor. The 9 golden crows were suppressed on the divine land of the central region and sealed by the god-emperor. However, the golden crows could emit divine light and illuminate the earth. It's called the divine light. Once you enter the divine world, this divine light will be more obvious and helpful for cultivation. Everyone in the divine world will be eternally grateful for the great emperor's grace. Moling Dongchen explained to Jiang Chen patiently. Shooting down the golden crows is really a peerless skill. Jiang Chen could not help but praise. Yu Hua boundary is just a transition. Once we step into the divine world, we will be transported to different places. The divine world has a total of 9 states and 18 counties. It's vast and boundless. It's comparable to the Milky Way. Luo Wenhao looked at Jiang Chen and said solemnly, 9 states and 18 counties? Seems like it's quite big. Just what I want. Jiang Chen's mouth curved into a bright smile. Once you step into the God world, things won't be as peaceful as they seem on the surface. The God world is constantly at war. It's not as good as you think it is. The God world is no different from the immortal world. Only the strong can survive. Moreover, the cruelty of the divine world is far more difficult than what you know. Moling Dongchen said, the divine origin stone is the simplest hard currency. Because the divine origin stone is helpful for cultivation. I know that Brother Jiang Chen is not worried about this, but I have a presumptuous request. Just say it. Jiang Chen looked at Moling Dongchen. My Mo family is considered as a prestigious family in the divine world. Our elders will come to pick me up later. If you're willing, you can follow me to the Mo family to cultivate. It's not a bad choice. Moling Dongchen, are you thinking about Brother Jiang Chen's inheritance of the craftsman god? Luo Wenhao looked at Moling Dongchen with a faint smile. The latter's expression changed and snorted. Luo Wenhao, don't slander me. You're measuring the heart of a gentleman with your own mean measure. Do you think that our Mo family will do such a despicable thing? I think this is what you're thinking. Humph. Moling Dongchen and Luo Wenhao looked at each other coldly. Both of them were against each other. I've only seen through your thoughts. Why do you have to be angry out of humiliation? I think Brother Jiang Chen should come to our Luo family to cultivate. We won't treat you badly. Moreover, your Da Huang dog seems to get along well with Goddess Luo. After all, if you enter the divine world directly, you won't know where you'll be teleported to. Once you fall into a barren land or a terrifying place in the chaotic divine land, your life will be in danger. Luo Wenhao said in a sincere tone. Chapter 2197. In the end, both of you are doing this for my own good. However, I am a stubborn person. I like to travel alone. Ha ha. You don't have to worry about me. Good people don't live long while scourges live for thousands of years. I am the scourge of the divine world. I prefer to be alone and be free. I will live a depressing life if I have something to hold me back. Jiang Chen shrugged and rejected their good intentions. One must always be on guard against others. Although these two seemed to be nice in the divine tomb, people's hearts were sinister. Who knew if they were really doing this for his own good or not? Even if they had the intention to help him, once they entered their families, how could these young disciples change the will of their families if the people in their families harbored evil intentions? Jiang Chen was not a 3-year-old kid. He must be responsible for himself and his master. Craftsman God had passed all the inheritance to him. How could he put himself in danger? Jiang Chen still had this kind of awareness. People's hearts were unpredictable. For so many years, Jiang Chen had always adhered to this principle. If that's the case, then forget it. However, you must be careful. In the divine world, there are 9 regions and 18 counties. The land is vast and incomparably vast. No one knows where they will be teleported to. Now that we part ways, I don't know when we'll have the chance to meet again. Moling Dongchen sighed and said, revealing his true feelings. Boss Jiang Chen, if it wasn't for your help, we would have been annihilated in the divine tomb. I will never forget your kindness. I will never disobey you. Amo Kahan looked at Jiang Chen with a solemn expression and gave a deep bow. Boss Jiang Chen, one day, I will surpass you. I hope that we can meet again on that day. Yesheng Yunwang looked at Jiang Chen deeply. The persistence and passion in his eyes made Jiang Chen feel the madness in his heart. Yexing Yunwang was definitely a martial arts fanatic who was even more persistent than him. Such a person's temperament was definitely not bad. I am looking forward to that day. Ha! Jiang Chen laughed and said, Young Master Jiang Chen, I really want to be by your side. Jiang Xinxin bit her red lips. Her beautiful face revealed an unconcealable sadness. How could Jiang Chen not understand Jiang Xinxin's thoughts? But he owed women too much. Yan Chenyu, Wu Ningzhu, Yan Qingcheng. His heart could no longer contain another woman. Jiang Xinxin's love was so deep that he really couldn't reject it, but he also couldn't accept it. You are a good girl. I believe you can find a better home. Jiang Chen held Jiang Xinxin in his arms and gently patted her shoulder. I've never dared to ask for anything. Even if I can only pour tea for young Master Jiang Chen, I'm willing. As long as I can stay by your side, it's fine. Jiang Xinxin whispered. Xinxin, there are many things a person can pursue in life. Once you step into the immortal world, you'll realize that I'm nothing. I'm not the hero that you wanted to marry since young. I'm not a prince or a powerful expert. Why do you have to treat me like this? It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Jiang Chen sighed. All right. Young Master Jiang Chen, Xinxin will never fall in love with another man in this life. I will only dare to break up with you when the mountains are gone and the heaven and earth are united. Jiang Xinxin smiled sweetly. However, the determination and heart-wrenching deep in her eyes made Jiang Chen unable to look at her. The sky of the immortal world is bigger. You will change. I believe that there will be someone to share your world with. After Jiang Chen finished his words, Jiang Xinxin nodded silently and turned to leave. Jiang Chen could still feel the lingering warmth from Jiang Xinxin's body. He smiled bitterly. He was really helpless. If he loved her, he must give her the best. But what could he give her? The most unforgettable ancient poems, the most disdainful is lovesickness, and the most difficult to accept a beauty's kindness. Moling Dongchen looked at Jiang Chen's back and murmured, Little Chenzi, you can't rely on women. You still have me. Tyrant hugged Jiang Chen's shoulder and said passionately, Damn it. I'm not interested in men. You stinky monk. Ha! Jiang Chen scolded with a smile. Tyrant's eyes were burning with anger. I pity you. You're so heartless, little Chenzi. At this moment, a dazzling light shone in the sky. 3 figures broke through the void and arrived. Their imposing manner was extremely strong and oppressed the void. Such a powerful aura. Yeah. I feel like I'm suffocating. I'm afraid that this person's strength has reached the stage where the gods and ghosts will weep. Let's talk less in case we anger the great god. I don't think we can bear it. Many people discussed in a low voice. They did not even dare to raise their heads to look at the 3 figures in the void. Dongchen, let's go home. The middle-aged man in the middle said faintly. Jiang Chen looked at the middle-aged man. His gaze seemed to be able to kill a void god expert. You're not afraid of me? The middle-aged man, Lang Lang, stared at Jiang Chen. Why should I be afraid of you? Jiang Chen said. You're not afraid that I'll kill you? I have no enmity with you. Just because I looked at you, you want to kill me? Jiang Chen said faintly. He even snorted disdainfully. The Mo family's dignity is inviolable. Anyone who disobeys will be killed. The middle-aged man raised his hand and a terrifying astral wind whistled towards Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's expression changed as if he was facing a formidable enemy. He struck out the slaughter dragon seal and cut off the astral wind. However, he was also pushed back. His face turned pale and he spurted out blood. Seventh uncle, don't. Moling Dongchen said in a deep voice. You're just an ant. It doesn't matter if you die. What's there to be afraid of? The middle-aged man's voice was extremely cold. It was as if Jiang Chen's life was in his hands. Jiang Chen squinted his eyes. This man gave him a feeling that he was invincible. He was very strong. However, he also gave him a feeling of jealousy and disgust. The feeling of being superior made Jiang Chen hate it. He saved me in the divine tomb. Moling Dongchen said in a deep voice. Our Mo family can't return kindness with enmity. Since that's the case, let him live and let him fend for himself. There's only 1 in 10,000 people who can enter the divine world. Those who can grow up are even rarer. A guy like you, Even if I don't take action, you won't be able to live for long. Mo Tianhan said coldly. One day I'll be above you. Jiang Chen's eyes were burning. Mo Tianhan was proud. You're courting death. Mo Tianhan still wanted to take action but was stopped by Moling Dongchen. Seventh uncle, don't forget what you've promised me. If it wasn't for you, he would have died 10,000 times. Mo Tianhan sneered. Seventh uncle is already a half-step divine king. He can kill you with just a thought. Don't talk back to him. Chapter 2198. Today, the Mo family is recruiting 100 outer disciples. Those who want to join the Mo family will be welcomed by the Mo family anytime. The divine world is divided into 9 regions and 18 counties. The Mo family is the lord of the Mo county. This is your chance. Otherwise, once you enter the God world, you will be in a life and death situation. The man beside Mo Tianhan said in a deep voice and glanced at everyone coldly. Those who enter the God world from the world of immortals are all blessed with great fortune, great talent, and great perseverance. Even in the God world, they're considered the best seedlings, and they're on par with the most talented people in the God world. However, the number of people who enter the divine world every 1,000 years is too little. They are scattered in every corner of the divine world. It's hard to find them. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Moling Dongchen looked at Jiang Chen and said, I see. Jiang Chen nodded his head. I'll go. I'll go. Me too. Count me in. We don't know if we'll live or die in the divine world. It's better to join the Mo family. Most of them were fighting to be the first to enter the Mo family. However, it was not that easy to enter the Mo family. In the end, the Mo family chose 100 void god experts and brought them away. Those who were not chosen by the Mo family were dejected and disappointed. You should go too, tyrant. Fuck off. Look at that arrogant guy. He's not a good person. Me going to his place? I don't respect the heavens and earth. I can't go and serve them tea. Ba. Monk Tyrant put his palms together and said with a solemn expression. In the end, Mo Kahan and Jiang Xinxin also joined the Mo family. Lu Dong and Yeshing Yunwang chose to stay silent. Even though they were chosen, they still insisted on their own path. Even though it would be extremely dangerous in the divine world, they still wanted to give it a try even if they might die. I'm leaving. I don't know when we'll meet again. If there's a chance, you can come to Mo County to look for us. Moling Dongchen said reluctantly. If there's a chance, I'll visit you. Jiang Chen said. I hope you can live until that day, kid. Mo Tianhan said with a faint smile. Since he had promised Moling Dongchen, it was not appropriate for him to take action. Moreover, in his eyes, Jiang Chen was already a dead man. It was extremely difficult for him to survive in the divine world with his own strength. It wouldn't be long before his corpse would be exposed in the wilderness of the God realm. The river flows east for 30 years, and then west for 30 years. Don't bully the young for being poor. I will go to the Mo family one day. Jiang Chen stared at Mo Tianhan. Mo Tianhan sneered, and a terrifying pressure enveloped Jiang Chen, completely sealing him within. Even Tyrant, who was beside Jiang Chen, staggered a few steps back, his face ashen, not to mention Jiang Chen, who was in the center. Jiang Chen gritted his teeth and looked at Mo Tianhan coldly. His whole body was suppressed to the point that he could hardly move. However, Jiang Chen's will was unparalleled. No one could crush him. Even Mo Tianhan was shocked. Under the pressure of his soul, Jiang Chen could remain so calm and did not fall down. Many people in the surroundings couldn't help but worship Jiang Chen. However, Jiang Chen did not move at all. He gritted his teeth and looked at Mo Tianhan. After a while, Mo Tianhan's pressure receded like a tide. Jiang Chen was still calm and looked at Mo Tianhan coldly. Interesting. I hope you can appear in the Mo family one day. However, I might not be able to wait for that long. Hehe. After saying that, Mo Tianhan brought Moling Dongchen, Jiang Xinxin and the others into the void. Jiang Xinxin smiled. That kind of persistence made Jiang Chen feel a little inferior. He hoped that she could walk out of the haze of love that should not have appeared. As soon as the people of the Mo family left, another 3 figures appeared in the void. They were the people of the Luo family. Go with Goddess Luo. Even if you enter the divine world with me, We can't appear in the same place. Don't make me worry. De Huang. De Huang remained silent for a long time. Even Goddess Luo could feel De Huang's sadness. Don't worry. Master Dog will not forget you no matter where I go. Little Chenzi, you must wait for me to find you. De Huang said while gritting his teeth. I wonder how Monkey is doing. De Huang murmured. Don't worry. He's more cunning than you. He'll be fine. Jiang Chen smiled. Monk, don't be so embarrassed the next time I see you. Otherwise, I'll look down on you. Stupid dog. You'll see my heroic side the next time you see me. At that time, maybe you'll fall in love with me. Ha ha. Amit ba. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. What a cheap mouth. Tyrant said with a smile. His eyes were filled with reluctance and worry. Please. Goddess Luo. Jiang Chen clasped his fists. Goddess Luo nodded. Brother Jiang Chen. We'll meet again if fate allows it. Luo Wenhao laughed out loud. The people of the Luo family also picked 100 talented cultivators and brought them to the divine world. The inheritance of the craftsman god. What a pity. In the void, the elder of the Luo family sighed and shook his head helplessly. Jiang Chen obtained the inheritance of the craftsman god. It's a great opportunity. Unfortunately, we don't have such fortune. Luo Wenhao smiled bitterly. The elder's eyes turned cold as he looked at Luo Wenhao. You said someone obtained the inheritance of the craftsman god? Yes. Unfortunately, it's not us. This disciple is useless. Elder, please punish me. Luo Wenhao said shamefully. Innocent. Innocent. Ha! On the contrary, you've made a great contribution. In the divine tomb, the people of the Mo family were also involved. You can't be blamed. But now our chance has come. The elder looked at the two disciples of the Luo family and signaled with his eyes. The latter immediately understood and left. At this moment, Goddess Luo was completely unaware. Yu Hua boundary. The remaining people were all ready to enter the divine world. They didn't have the chance to join the Mo family or the Luo family, but they had to enter the divine world. That was the place they dreamed of. Jiang Chen looked at the hundreds of thousands of cultivators stepping into the gate of the divine world. His heart was filled with mixed feelings and he felt uneasy. Where's Jiang Chen? A loud shout was heard. More than half of the people in the Yu Hua boundary had left. Many people were rushing to enter the divine world. Hence, not many people noticed this scene. Luo family? What do you mean? Jiang Chen said coldly. Still pretending. You really don't know your place. Hand over the inheritance of the craftsman god. I can disturb your life. Otherwise, I'll kill you. Chapter 2199. Jiang Chen slowly squinted his eyes and stared at the two people from the divine world. They were both from the Luo clan. No matter how stupid he was, he knew their intentions. Looks like you guys want something from me. Jiang Chen said faintly. You're right, smart ant. Hand over the craftsman god's inheritance. Maybe if we're in a good mood, we'll give it to him. If we're in a good mood, we might spare your life. Luo Ningtian said with a smile. However, there was a hint of mockery and disdain in the depth of his eyes. Jiang Chen was someone who had climbed up from the lower realm step by step. He felt that Jiang Chen was a lowly person from the bottom of his heart. As a native of the divine world, he was filled with pride. Therefore, when Luo Ningtian looked at Jiang Chen, he had a condescending and arrogant attitude. This was an innate arrogance. From the moment they were born, they had already reached a height that many people could never reach in their entire lives. Why bother talking to this kind of person? Just kill him. Noisy. Luo Chintian sneered. He did not put Jiang Chen in his eyes at all. Haha, you're right. I just wanted to play with him on a whim. Luo Ningtian said. We've delayed third elder's matter. Both of us can't afford it. Luo Chintian's words shocked Luo Ningtian and he looked at Jiang Chen. Looks like you guys are determined to take away my inheritance of the craftsman god. I'm just curious who told you guys about it. Jiang Chen said coldly. You don't deserve to know. A dead man has no right to know. Moreover, what can you do even if you know? In front of us, you're just an ant. That's all. Luo Chintian did not even look at Jiang Chen with disdain. All that was left was silence. To him, Jiang Chen's death was an ordinary matter. It did not even cause any fluctuation in his emotions. Jiang Chen knew that these two people were quite strong. In today's battle, they might really have to fight to the death. Their strength gave them an unfathomable feeling. This was a feeling that Jiang Chen had never felt before. They wanted his craftsman god's inheritance, and it was destined that they wouldn't rest until one of them died. "Let me do it, Chen Gu. There's no need for you to do anything," Luo Ningtian said. His eyes were cold and the battle was about to begin. "Be careful," Luo Chintian said. "I am a man of God. If I can't even deal with a void god brat, what qualifications do I have to go back and see the third elder?" "Ha ha ha," Luo Ningtian scoffed. Luo Chintian remained silent. Luo Ningtian snorted coldly and walked towards Jiang Chen. "Little Chenzi, these two people are quite strong," Tyrant said with a solemn expression. "So what? Do you think I'm afraid of him?" Jiang Chen asked. "Ha ha ha, good good. I'll fight with you. I want to see what kind of tricks a god has up his sleeve. It's not easy to meet such an opponent." Tyrant's face was filled with battle intent and he was eager to fight. "Two reckless fools. Even if there are 100 of you, this god will not care." Luo Ningtian sneered. "No matter how much trash there is, it's still trash. Tyrant, someone is looking down on us. What should we do?" Jiang Chen smiled. "Of course we will fight back. I won't fight those who don't fight me. But if someone fights me, I will fight back 10 times or 100 times more. Until he dies." Tyrant's expression was cold. At this moment, he didn't look like a devout Buddhist disciple. "There's no point in talking. Let's fight. Since you guys have chosen to die, there's nothing I can do. The heavens have the virtue of cherishing life, but I have the heart to kill. If a demon obstructs me, I will kill the demon. If a god obstructs me, I will slaughter the god." Jiang Chen's eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Luo Ningtian. "You can't wait to die. I will fulfill your wish. Slaughter the god? Such arrogance. Aren't you afraid of hurting your tongue? Prepare to die. Lowly ants." Luo Ningtian's expression was gloomy as he sneered. These two ants that he thought could not even fight back could be so arrogant and look down on the people of the divine world. This was the first time he met someone like this. Experts naturally have their own pride. Those who are weak should be low-key. However, in Luo Ningtian's eyes, these two arrogant fellas did not learn how to be low-key. Then he will teach them a lesson. Green Peak Sword, sword like a green peak, only slaying arrogant people. Luo Ningtian held his sword and pointed it at Jiang Chen. His sword came from the east, his aura was monstrous, sweeping across thousands of miles of mountains and rivers. Jiang Chen did not expect a true god's strength to be so crazy. A peak void god and a true god were two completely different realms. If a 9th-grade immortal sovereign breaking through to the void god realm was a shocking change, then the difference between a void god realm and a true god realm was like heaven and earth, a carp leaping through the dragon's gate. Stepping into the true god realm was the true divine transformation realm, the divine realm. One sword shatters the sky. Luo Ningtian waved his sword, creating a gust of wind. The instant the sword fell down, it carried a terrifying force, shattering the void and pressing towards Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's expression turned solemn. He held onto his sword and soared into the sky, facing the incoming attack. "I don't believe that you can suppress me." Jiang Chen's eyes were cold. The heavenly dragon sword was unleashed, clashing with the green peak sword. Jiang Chen was pushed back 800 meters. Jiang Chen was not prepared for such a terrifying pressure. He did not expect this fella to be so powerful. A true god realm is indeed not something a void god could compare with. Jiang Chen thought in his heart. However, Luo Ningtian had already arrived, bringing along the 9 heavens sword qi. In the void, the sword qi was sharp and deadly, pressing towards Jiang Chen, leaving him no chance to fight back. Jiang Chen quickly retreated as if he was facing a great enemy. However, Luo Ningtian's terror was completely out of his expectation. If it wasn't for the heavenly dragon sword, he might have been completely crushed by Luo Ningtian. What a great heavenly divine tool. This is not something that you can possess. The inheritance of the craftsman god is indeed worthy of its name. Luo Chintian murmured. Looking at the heavenly dragon sword in Jiang Chen's hand, his eyes became more and more excited. This time, If they could obtain the inheritance of the craftsman god, the two of them would have made a great contribution. Bullying my brother, I will not allow it. Tyrant harumphed coldly and quickly attacked. The purple gold alms bowl in his hand smashed down furiously on the green peak sword. The purple gold alms bowl was struck down by the sword, but it was not damaged at all. On the contrary, the Buddha light that was emitted from the purple gold alms bowl made Luo Ningtian slightly stunned. Such a powerful Buddha tool. It's not any weaker than the sword in Jiang Chen's hand. You're really full of treasures. Leave all of them here today. Luo Ningtian advanced instead of retreating. From his point of view, the two of them were like a cat chasing a mouse. As long as he wanted to kill the two of them, it would be as easy as flipping his palm. Well done, tyrant. Jiang Chen smiled faintly. The two of them joined hands to deal with Luo Ningtian. Luo Ningtian obviously underestimated his opponent. He never expected that Jiang Chen and Tyrant would be able to withstand his attack. This made Luo Ningtian feel very embarrassed. After all, his brother was still watching. Chapter 2200. Luo Ningtian's sword danced like a phoenix, breaking through the heavens and earth. Every sword seemed to contain the power of the heavens and earth, completely different from a void god's attack. Jiang Chen's expression became incomparably solemn, not daring to be careless. The two of them did not have the capability to fight against Luo Ningtian. You're like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. Do you really think that you can cover the sky with one hand? No matter how powerful you are in the void god realm, it's still difficult to defeat a true expert. Now you should know that the gap between us is not just a little bit, right? Ha! Luo Ningtian once again waved his azure peak sword, unstoppable. Sword traversing the heavens and earth. Luo Ningtian's sword struck towards the west. Jiang Chen and Tyrant were both pushed back by this sword. Tyrant's expression changed. He never knew how terrifying a true god realm expert was. All the rainbow bridges vanished at this moment. Countless ninth-grade immortal sovereigns that had yet to leave the Yuhua boundary gasped, staring at this scene with their mouths agape. Because the next sword strike was too terrifying. It was as if it was cutting down the mortal world, ignoring the heavens and earth, annihilating all living beings and sweeping across all directions. Jiang Chen's sword slashed down, but he was still not Luo Ningtian's match. He kept on retreating with an ugly expression. The blood in his body was boiling. Such a domineering sword chi, Jiang Chen said in a dignified manner. On the other side, Tyrant wasn't any better. He was pushed back 100 miles. Luo Ningtian's technique was truly ferocious. The difference between Luo Ningtian, a divine transformation realm expert, and Jiang Chen and the others was like heaven and earth. Now if you obediently do as I say, maybe I can let you live. Against me, no, against the Luo family, you won't have an easy time. Do you really think you can escape from the palms of us brothers? Don't dream, fool. Being able to wreak havoc in the void god realm doesn't mean that you can do the same in the true god realm. In my eyes, you are undoubtedly an ant. Luo Ningtian was quite domineering. Moreover, he did not even spare a glance at Jiang Chen. He was very confident and did not put anyone in his eyes. The true god realm was the true divine transformation. The void god realm was just the process of turning a mortal into an immortal. The true transformation was still the true god realm. Jiang Chen said calmly, "There's only one way to obtain the craftsman god's inheritance." "What is it?" "Kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times, and I'll consider it." Jiang Chen laughed, making Luo Ningtian so angry that his face turned ferocious and his killing intent surged. "You really don't know the immensity of the heavens and the earth. Once I kill you, everything will be over. You really disappoint me." Luo Ningtian was obviously enraged by Jiang Chen. A true god realm expert was so terrifying. How could Jiang Chen not be careful? However, if those two fellows were to attack together, perhaps his chances of survival would be extremely slim. "Take another move from me." Slaying Ghost Weep. Luo Ningtian's attack was as fast as lightning, sweeping across the sky like a ferocious tiger. Jiang Chen faced it head-on. He was not the kind of person who was willing to admit defeat. He would rather fight till the end than to have any regrets. Slaughter Dragon Seal. Jiang Chen flipped his palm and formed a seal. As soon as the seal was unleashed, the heavens and earth shattered. However, it still didn't have any advantage against Luo Ningtian's terrifying sword aura. The sword's wind whistled through the 9 heavens, looking unparalleled. 5 Elements Combat Dragon Seal. Jiang Chen used all his skills and struck out seals continuously. However, Luo Ningtian was still walking leisurely. Jiang Chen felt a pressure that he had never felt before. Buddha's Radiance. Tyrant returned once again. He put his palms together and chanted the name of Buddha. He looked like an old monk in meditation. Golden light shone and Buddha's radiance shone on the earth. Luo Ningtian's expression turned solemn. He did not expect this monk to have some ability. The Buddha's radiance was extremely ferocious. It was a Buddhist sect's absolute art. Moreover, the power of the Buddha's radiance seemed to be even stronger. However, Tyrant could not unleash its full potential. 3,000 Flames Dragon Seal. Jiang Chen did not want to be outdone. At this moment, the two of them joined hands. Luo Ningtian became serious. It was obvious that it would not be easy to get rid of both Jiang Chen and Tyrant. A centipede dies but never falls down. Even at this moment, you still want to fight with me. What a joke. An arm can never win against a thigh. Luo Ningtian's figure flashed in the sky. His figure overlapped with his sword. It was as if the entire place was filled with Luo Ningtian's figure. Myriad sword strike. Luo Ningtian shouted. He turned into thousands of sword shadows and charged towards Jiang Chen and Tyrant. His aura was extremely ferocious. This time, Jiang Chen could feel Luo Ningtian's anger. Luo Ningtian had used all of his strength and charged towards Jiang Chen and Tyrant. This was a confidence that came from the bottom of his heart. As a true god expert, if Luo Ningtian did not have the courage to kill a void god expert, then he would be considered as a coward. Luo Ningtian was slightly shocked by Jiang Chen's terrifying aura. Both Tyrant and Jiang Chen's strength could not be measured with common sense. Even with their early void god strength, they would not be at a disadvantage against a late void god. Jiang Chen's aura was extremely terrifying. However, they were facing Luo Ningtian, a true god expert. This was the first time Luo Ningtian received such a huge challenge after becoming a divine transformation realm expert. In the Luo family, they could not be considered as a true core disciple. Even Luo Wenhao could not be considered as a core disciple. However, Luo Wenhao's background was better than theirs. His bloodline was purer than theirs. That's why he would be able to surpass them step by step. As an outer disciple of the Luo family, their strength was already considered to be quite strong. How could they endure such humiliation from Jiang Chen? If they wanted to become a core disciple of the Luo family step by step, they could only have a chance through continuous cultivation or meritorious deeds. The opportunity placed in front of them was extremely rare. It could even be said that it was an easy task. This was a chance given to them by the heavens. If they could obtain the inheritance of the craftsman god, their status in the Luo family would definitely rise because of it. Kill! 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 Luo Ningtian's killing intent surged. For the sake of obtaining the inheritance of the craftsman god, he would not frown even if the Emperor of Heaven was standing in front of him. 10,000 swords shot out simultaneously towards Jiang Chen and Tyrant. Jiang Chen was unmoved. He roared furiously and the fusion of dragon and sword turned into a ray of light, breaking through the formation of 10,000 swords. However, Tyrant was not so lucky. He was slashed 13 times in a row. His injuries were extremely serious. Blood was dripping from his wounds. There was not a single part of his body that was left unscathed. Jiang Chen was enraged. This fella is too much. Does he really think that I'm afraid of him? Tyrant! Chapter 2201. Little Chenzi. I'm useless. Hee. Tyrant said with a chuckle. Leave the rest to me. Monk, you enter the divine world first. I'll be right behind you. Jiang Chen said faintly, but his eyes had already turned bloodless. No, if I leave, what about you? We're brothers. There's no distinction between us. Tyrant shook his head, determined not to leave. You'll only cause trouble for me if you stay here. Don't worry, I said I have a way, so I definitely have a way. When have I ever lied to you guys? I'll definitely go to the divine world, but now that you're here, I'm afraid and can't fight with my full strength. Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. Really? Tyrant was a little doubtful, but Jiang Chen had never lied to him before. If he said he had a way, then he definitely had a way. He would never lie to him. All right, divine world, I'll wait for you. If you don't come, I, Tyrant, will definitely turn the entire divine world upside down. Tyrant stared at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen smiled faintly and nodded his head. Let's meet in the divine world. After saying that, Tyrant turned around and entered the divine world. Luo Ningtian wanted to stop him, but he was stopped by Jiang Chen. Your opponent is me. The inheritance of the craftsman god is in my hands. Jiang Chen looked at Luo Ningtian indifferently. Tyrant's injuries were on the verge of exhaustion. He could not bear to see Tyrant suffer another heavy injury because of him. Entering the divine world was his only chance, and Jiang Chen could not let Tyrant be in danger again. You're quite responsible, but even so, you still have to die. How many more attacks can you block from me? Hee, if it wasn't for this kid's Buddha radiance, I would have killed you already. Luo Ningtian snorted and said disdainfully. At this moment, even the Nine Heavens deity king wouldn't be able to save him. Is that so? Then I'd like to see who will be the one laughing in the end. The corner of Jiang Chen's mouth revealed a faint smile, which made Luo Ningtian feel weird. The tyrant monk looked back at the void. He didn't know what other tricks Jiang Chen had up his sleeves. If he said he could do it, then he definitely could. God world, I'll see you there. Tyrant resolutely turned around and stepped into the divine world. Many people had an indifferent attitude as they quickly entered the divine world. Because the emergence boundary would close soon, they had no choice but to enter the divine world as soon as possible. Although there were some people that Jiang Chen had saved before, at this time, no one could save them. Jiang Chen could only face it alone. He didn't lament about the fickleness of the world, because there were some things that one couldn't be too attached to. If that was the case, living would be even more tiring. It was hard work without asking for anything in return. If he had asked for anything in return, Jiang Chen wouldn't have saved them in the first place. You're still so stubborn even now. How pitiful. Hand over the inheritance of the craftsman god, and I might have left your corpse intact. But it seems like you don't need it anymore. You're a bastard that cries for your parents. You've really impressed me. Luo Ningtian said coldly. You're the one who forced me to do this. You're the first one who dared to insult my parents. Jiang Chen's expression became gloomy. His body trembled as he completed the dragon transformation. At this moment, Jiang Chen's strength suddenly rose, reaching the peak middle void god realm. The might of his dragon transformation would certainly be more ferocious. Tenfold of his combat strength brought about a terrifying strength. This time, Jiang Chen used his full strength. An ant will always be an ant. Forcefully increasing your strength? Hehe. You're still a void god trash. Luo Ningtian said in disdain. However, when Jiang Chen charged towards him, he realized that Jiang Chen was carrying a domineering aura. Even he was stunned. How could a void god have such an aura? While Luo Ningtian was still in a daze, Jiang Chen had already arrived with his sword. With the heavenly dragon sword and tenfold of his combat strength, Jiang Chen's strength could completely suppress any peak void god under the dragon transformation. However, he dared not underestimate Luo Ningtian. After all, Luo Ningtian was a true god. Those below the spirit-severing realm would not dare to go against him. Good lad. To think that you have such abilities. If I don't kill you, you'll be a disaster in the divine world in the future. An early void god is able to defeat everyone under the true god realm. Such combat strength is truly heaven-defying. Jiang Chen said. Luo Ningtian murmured. Don't waste any more time. We still need to report back. Luo Chintian said coldly. All right. This sentence was not said by Luo Ningtian but by Jiang Chen. Similarly, he did not have much time to waste as the Yuhua boundary was going to close soon. If that happened, he might be trapped in the divine tomb for 1,000 years. So he must fight with all his might. Whoever survived would be able to leave the Yuhua boundary. Jiang Chen didn't have any confidence in himself, because once he failed, Tyrant would die here as well. That's why he chased Tyrant out. This way, he wouldn't have to worry about anything, and he would be able to focus on the battle wholeheartedly. 12 fire god guards. Appear. Jiang Chen shouted furiously. At this moment, even Luo Ningtian was slightly startled. 12 peak void god fire god guards appeared in front of him, completely surrounding him. Moreover, each of the fire god guards was quite terrifying. Because of the flames on their bodies, even Luo Ningtian felt a little fearful. Such terrifying flame puppets. Luo Ningtian could not help but think. But before he could regain his senses, the 12 fire god guards had already arrived and surrounded him. Jiang Chen did not show any mercy. As the backbone of the 12 fire god guards, he controlled the 12 fire god guards. How terrifying was that? The 12 fire god guards attacked in an instant. The fierceness of the flames caught Luo Ningtian off guard. He knew that he must not touch the flames. Otherwise, his body would be burnt to ashes. This book is a very magical flame? Luo Chintian was shocked. He had to pay attention to the strength of the 12 fire god guards. These guys were not something that Luo Ningtian could deal with alone. Be careful. Second brother. Luo Ningtian shouted. However, it was already too late. The 12 fire god guards had forced Luo Ningtian to retreat. Not even Luo Ningtian could fight back against the 12 peak void god fire god guards. In addition to Jiang Chen's unpredictable movements, Luo Ningtian was almost defeated in an instant. 6 fire god guards were enough to crush Luo Ningtian. 12 fire god guards might not be in a disadvantageous position even if they were to face Luo Chintian. Chapter 2202. If it was an ordinary true god, 3 or 4 of them would be enough to deal with the fire god guards. Moreover, they were indestructible under the divine king realm. They could be defeated, but they could not be killed. Moreover, the flame of the fire god guards was the origin fire of Red Lotus. Ordinary people would want to avoid this kind of flame. Jiang Chen finally understood how terrifying the fire god guards were. Such a terrifying flaming puppet. Luo Ningtian was extremely shocked. Especially when he was fighting with the fire god guards, he was completely in a passive position. He even had to be extremely careful to avoid being burned by the flame. Luo Ningtian could only defend passively. Moreover, he had been hit by the fire god guards 3 times in a row. If he did not defend with all his strength, he would have been seriously injured just now. Even so, he was in an extremely embarrassing situation. He did not have the feeling of being superior just now. After all, the 12 fire god guards had threatened his life and he should not be underestimated. Luo Ningtian was extremely depressed. These 12 fire god guards should be a part of the craftsman god's inheritance. Otherwise, how could this brat have these 12 flaming puppets? Even one puppet would be hard to find in the heavens and earth. Its value was immeasurable. However, this brat actually had 12 of them. Even Luo Ningtian was a little envious. This day next year will be your death anniversary. Jiang Chen did not hold back. He joined hands with the 12 fire god guards and forced Luo Ningtian into a dead end. This time, Jiang Chen's unification of dragon and sword was completely different from before. The terrifying heavenly dragon sword slashed through the void and Luo Ningtian had nowhere to hide. The 12 fire god guards made him move cautiously and cautiously. However, it was still difficult for him to fight back. The heavenly dragon sword slashed through the void. The 9 heavens' divine power was unparalleled. The entire Yuhua boundary seemed to have become dim. The radiance of the sword lit up the void. Luo Ningtian could only retreat quickly and stagger to escape. Bang! The heavenly dragon sword directly fell on Luo Ningtian's green peak sword. Behind Luo Ningtian, Luo Chintian accumulated strength in his palm and struck out with the help of Luo Ningtian's body. An earth-shattering roar pierced through the sky. The heavenly dragon sword stood proudly with its sharpness as before. As for Luo Ningtian's green peak sword, it had already cracked inch by inch and became a broken sword. My divine weapon, my divine weapon. Luo Ningtian said with great heartache. This was a divine artifact that had accompanied him for more than 800 years. It was given to him by his father before he died. It was the only treasure that Luo Ningtian had. Ordinary deities might not even be able to obtain a divine artifact. Because of this divine artifact, countless people in his clan envied him. However, at this moment, it was destroyed so easily by Jiang Chen. It's just trash. It's time for us to settle this debt. I've said it before, the one who laughs last is the one who laughs best. Jiang Chen said proudly. Don't think that you can escape from us with just a few puppets. Killing you is as easy as pie. Luo Chintian said coldly. Then let's see if you can kill me and obtain the inheritance, or if I can kill you despicable people to prove my great Tao. Those flaming puppets are too strong. Let's attack together. Luo Chintian said in a low voice. Although Luo Ningtian was still grieving, he knew that once they killed Jiang Chen and obtained the inheritance of the craftsman god, their reward would definitely not be as simple as a divine artifact. You destroyed my divine artifact. Today, I will not rest until one of us dies. Little bastard, die! Luo Ningtian roared. The two early true god experts attacked at the same time. This place was no longer the boundary of the divine tomb, but the Yuhua boundary. Therefore, the suppression of a peak void god did not exist anymore. The two true god experts displayed their abilities. Jiang Chen did not dare to be careless. The 12 fire god guards surrounded the two of them. This battle would not end until one of them died. There was no way to turn back. Moreover, Jiang Chen would never let go of those who wanted to kill him. Don't hold back. Give it your all. Luo Chintian roared. If they had taken action from the beginning, there wouldn't have been so much trouble. However, this guy was obviously not someone who was easy to deal with. The two brothers could be said to have kicked an iron plate. They did not expect this at all. Most importantly, this guy had obtained the inheritance of the craftsman god. Otherwise, killing him would be as easy as killing a fool. Collapsing mountain palm. Luo Chuntian's palm was earth-shattering. It was like the giant palm of the Buddha, covering the sun and the sky. The clouds and mist in the void were dispersed by his palm. Jiang Chen's slaughter dragon seal collided with Luo Chuntian's. It was undeniable that with Jiang Chen's current strength, even if he used the dragon transformation, he was still not a match for a true god expert. Jiang Chen flew backwards. Luo Chintian looked at Jiang Chen with a serious expression. This was his strongest attack. An ordinary early true god expert might not dare to take it head-on. However, this guy was not afraid at all and was not injured at all. It was really strange. Sword shadow descends into the yellow spring, goes straight to the 9 heavens. Luo Ningtian also exerted all his strength. He did not plan to give Jiang Chen any chance. However, Jiang Chen blocked his attack with his sword. This time, Luo Ningtian's Qingfeng sword lost its last piece of broken sword. Jiang Chen quickly retreated. The 12 fire god guards immediately came forward and surrounded Luo Chintian and Luo Chintian. The flames of the karmic fire of the red lotus continued to rise. The karmic fire of the red lotus that was emitted by the fire god guards was many times stronger than before. Even a true god expert could only retreat and not dare to take it head-on. However, Luo Chuntian's strength was a notch higher. He had even reached the peak of the early true god realm. The two of them were evenly matched against the 12 fire god guards. The god Luo clan had the god Luo art, which was a god-tier cultivation technique. Therefore, they were much stronger than ordinary experts. The strength of the disciples from the prestigious clans was naturally quite strong. There was no doubt about this. Even though he did not manage to kill Jiang Chen, Luo Chintian was not disappointed. Because the 12 fire god guards were destined to be controlled by Jiang Chen. As long as the battle continued, Jiang Chen might not be able to gain any advantage. It seems like it's time to catch a turtle in a jar. Jiang Chen and Lung Lung smiled. The two of them were completely controlled by the 12 fire god guards. They were entangled with each other and there was no way for them to escape. Even if the battle continued, Luo Chintian was extremely depressed. The 12 fire god guards were entangled with them. They could not escape at all, not to mention killing Jiang Chen and snatching the inheritance. Moreover, the most important thing was that they could not get rid of the flaming puppets at all. It would be a joke if they wanted to suppress the puppets. Now it's finally my turn. Jiang Chen's figure flashed and instantly disappeared. At that moment, both Luo Chintian and Luo Ningtian felt a chill down their spine. Why did this guy suddenly disappear? Chapter 2203. Jiang Chen suddenly appeared in front of Luo Ningtian. Luo Ningtian's attack was predicted by Jiang Chen. The great divination art and the great void technique were a perfect match in this situation. Because they did not have many means to deal with Jiang Chen. The 12 fire god guards had already made them extremely busy. When Luo Ningtian waved his hand, Jiang Chen was already prepared and kicked out. Both Luo Ningtian and Jiang Chen took a step back. Jiang Chen's figure suddenly appeared behind Luo Ningtian at this moment. The great void technique was everywhere under the void. Luo Ningtian had broken through the true god realm after all, so his senses were quite sharp. However, the moment he turned his head, Jiang Chen's heavenly dragon sword had already chopped on his shoulder. His arm flew off and Luo Ningtian grimaced in pain. Second brother. Luo Chuntian's face turned serious and he shouted. Luo Ningtian staggered and the two fire god guards behind him instantly found the opportunity to inflict heavy injuries on him. Luo Chintian forced the three fire god guards to retreat. In the next second, he pulled Luo Ningtian and Jiang Chen's attack fell on him once again. When they turned around, both of them were almost standing face to face. Luo Chintian exclaimed and subconsciously retreated. Jiang Chen appeared at his side again and stabbed his sword into Luo Chintian's ribs. Puff! Luo Chintian spurted out a mouthful of blood. Both of them were once again forced into a desperate situation by the 12 fire god guards. Jiang Chen attacked again and each of his moves was ruthless. Both Luo Chintian and Luo Ningtian paid a heavy price every time. In the end, even though Luo Chintian was besieged by the 12 fire god guards, he was still in a disadvantageous position. As for Luo Ningtian, he was unable to recover from the setback. He was completely suppressed and had no power to fight back. "Both of you should not have provoked me," Jiang Chen said faintly. His figure flashed and the heavenly dragon sword was stabbed into Luo Ningtian's chest. "No!" Luo Ningtian's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. At this moment, he could feel that his life force was constantly draining away. His chest was pierced by Jiang Chen's heavenly dragon sword. Jiang Chen did not look sideways. He swept his sword across and slashed Luo Ningtian's body from the side. Luo Ningtian knelt on the ground and fell to the ground. Blood kept flowing out from his mouth. The divine light in his eyes became weaker and weaker. "Jiang Chen, I will not live under the same sky as you." Luo Chintian's angry roar broke through the sky. With a turn of his hand, he went straight to Jiang Chen. Even though the fire god guards had slashed him twice, he didn't care about it at all. There was only one person in his eyes, and that was Jiang Chen. Only by killing him could he get the reward for his brother. Back then, before his father died, he told him to take good care of his younger brother. Even if it was a godly weapon, he would never fight for it and leave the best for his younger brother. At this moment, when he saw Luo Ningtian being pierced by Jiang Chen's sword, his heart turned into ashes. "I'm going to kill you." Luo Chintian ran towards Jiang Chen crazily. However, the 12 fire god guards were not weak. They blocked his way and he had no chance to resist at all. "Don't worry. The next one is you. Go and accompany your younger brother. On the way to hell, be a pair of brothers in hardship." Jiang Chen said with an indifferent expression. The Great Void technique appeared and disappeared mysteriously. He appeared next to Luo Chintian again and again. 3 sword strikes landed on 3 vital points of Luo Chintian's life. A drop of blood flowed out from Luo Chintian's eyes, but there was nothing he could do. His brother was killed and he could not escape from the misfortune. This time, Luo Chintian failed miserably. He had never thought that he would die in the hands of an early void god. "I can't accept this. I can't accept this. I can't accept this," Luo Chintian murmured as he slowly fell down. Even if they were extremely unwilling, the two of them had to return to the earth after all. They died in the Yuhua boundary and were buried in the divine tomb forever. This is the dignity of the strong and the lowly of the weak. The weak are prey to the strong, the survival of the fittest. Jiang Chen looked at the Luo brothers without a trace of pity in his eyes. He pitied the people of the world, but when did the world pity him? If it wasn't for his pair of iron fists, he would have died many times already. Kindness was the epitaph of a kind person. If he bowed his head, would the Luo brothers let him go? Life and death are boundless. If you don't think about it, you will never forget it. If you have bitterness in your heart, you will not be able to express it. This world was the world of the strong. Strength was a part of dignity. Jiang Chen searched the bodies of Luo Chintian and Luo Ningtian. He found 130,000 low-grade divine origin stones, and more than 200 middle-grade divine origin stones. These were the hard currency of the divine world. Jiang Chen would definitely not let them go. The divine origin stones emitted pure and dense divine power. Low-grade divine origin stones were enough for those below the true God realm. Above the true God realm, they would need middle-grade divine origin stones. When one reached the heavenly God realm, he would need high-grade divine origin stones for his own use. Once he broke through to the divine king realm, he would need the supreme grade divine origin stones. What is this? Jiang Chen found an ancient sheepskin scroll in Luo Chintian's interspatial ring. It seemed to be a part of an incomplete map. The words on the map were quite ancient and hard to understand. There were many markings on the ancient sheepskin scroll. It seemed to be a divine treasury, but it also seemed to be a cultivation method. This made Jiang Chen a little uncertain. Rush thunder diagram? Jiang Chen frowned. He couldn't understand this kind of thing now, so he could only keep it for now. Currently, he was seriously injured and his strength was greatly reduced. Everyone had stepped into the divine world and Yuhua boundary was gradually dimming. It wouldn't be long before Yuhua boundary was completely sealed. After all the hardships, I'm finally going to get out of this divine tomb. Jiang Chen looked back and there was an afterimage in the void. The afterimage seemed to be smiling at him. That afterimage was the appearance of the tomb keeper, but it disappeared in a flash. Jiang Chen was slightly stunned. When he blinked his eyes again, the afterimage had already disappeared without a trace. This is weird. The tomb of the god of sin is really not simple. No wonder even the supreme experts of the divine world couldn't enter it. The rules set by the god emperor are really extraordinary. Jiang Chen murmured. The divine world was now in front of him. Jiang Chen had a myriad of thoughts in his mind. Even Tyrant was forcefully sucked into the divine tomb. What about Yan Chenyu? Wu Ningzhu? Yan Qingqing? And his father, he didn't know when he would be able to enter the divine tomb. Most importantly, the divine tomb was full of danger. Even Jiang Chen felt a kind of fear. Would they be able to take the last step if they entered it in the future? Looking at Yuhua boundary, Jiang Chen clenched his fists. A very great pressure was pressing on his shoulders. One day, I want the sky to be unable to cover my eyes. I want this land to bow down to me. Wait for me, I will never let any harm come to you, Jiang Chen said in a deep voice. He pointed his sword to the void. It seemed that someone was peeping at him from the 9th heaven. Divine world, here I come. Chapter 2204. The moment Jiang Chen stepped into the gate of the divine realm, he seemed to have entered a mysterious state. It was as if he was empty and his mind was wandering outside. At this moment, the Yuhua boundary completely disappeared from the border between the divine realm and the tomb of the god of sin. When Jiang Chen stepped into the divine realm, an incomparably long and broad road appeared in front of him, floating above the clouds. In front of him, there were countless pavilions, which were tall and magnificent, as if he was in a dream. At this moment, a black sky rock flew over from afar. Its feathers were incomparably bright, and its momentum soared to the sky. It spread its wings and soared for 90,000 miles. Jiang Chen stared at the incomparably terrifying sky rock. The sky rock glanced at Jiang Chen thoughtfully, and then swept into the void. It soared straight up, with an aura that could swallow mountains and rivers, and everything changed. What a terrifying sky rock. It seems that one look can decide my life and death. Jiang Chen was slightly shocked. He had never encountered such a strong force. The sky rock looked at him as if it was reuniting with him after a long time, but it was full of fighting intent. Boom! All of a sudden, a bolt of lightning fell from the sky. The sound of thunder rolled, and the aura engulfed 10,000 miles was like a tiger. The lightning struck at Jiang Chen almost in an instant. Jiang Chen sucked in a breath of cold air, and his face changed dramatically. The lightning gave him a feeling that it was completely impossible to resist. If the lightning fell, he would definitely die. Buzz! The lightning kept enlarging in Jiang Chen's eyes, and finally fell on the Zulong Tower. Above the Zulong Tower, the golden light shone brightly, and it firmly protected Jiang Chen in the Zulong Tower. Under the golden light, the Zulong Tower seemed to have suffered a great shock. The deafening sound caused Jiang Chen to cover his ears, and his expression changed drastically. The luster of the Zulong Tower also dimmed a lot at this time, and it even became the initial blood-red color. Within the blood-red light, there was a dim golden light. Jiang Chen was directly knocked out by the shocking thunder from the 9th heaven. Even with the protection of the Zulong Tower, he still received a great impact. The heavens don't want me, and the earth doesn't want me. I will fight the heavens and earth. Soaring to the top. No one can trap me. Not even the heavens. Cough 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 cough. In the ancestral dragon pagoda, an old voice reverberated through the 9 heavens. Amidst the rain and mist, the heavens and earth changed. Thunder rumbled and 9 golden lightnings struck the ancestral dragon pagoda, shaking 1,000 li. Immortal world. Northern cold divine region. Lone Dragon County, Linha boundary, at the foot of Deer Morn Mountain. Grandpa, look, did that person roll down from the top of the mountain? A crisp and trembling voice said in a low voice. A pair of big round eyes, full of spirit, and black hair tied together, a 13 or 14-year-old girl was filled with curiosity and shock. The girl carried a bamboo basket on her back, stepped through the forest, and followed her grandpa into the Deer Morn Mountain to collect herbs. This was the first time she met a person, and she didn't know if he was dead or alive. Where? An old man with white hair and a tobacco pipe in his mouth said. He was wearing a leather coat that had been mended and sewn over and over again. His eyes slightly squinted, and he fiercely took 2 puffs, puffing out clouds of smoke. This is a person with a bitter life. It is unknown whether he is dead or alive, but he fell here. It can be said that he is fated with us. The old man inserted the tobacco pipe on his back, squatted down, and gently patted the young man whose clothes were already tattered. He is still alive, but he seems to have suffered a great injury, and has already fainted. The old man said, turned around, and walked towards the foot of the Deer Morn Mountain with the injured young man. Grandpa, didn't you tell me not to meddle in other people's business? Wait for me. The girl curled her lips, and quickly followed. The old man walked as if he was flying, and did not look like a candle in the wind at all. When Jiang Chen suddenly woke up, at that moment, everything in front of him had changed into another scene. The 9 palaces, pavilions, and pavilions had disappeared, and the soaring sky pung had also disappeared. Where am I? Jiang Chen rubbed his head, frowning. He only felt that the world was spinning, and then the Zulong Tower desperately protected him, and he fainted. You're awake, big brother? The girl carried a bowl of steaming hot medicine, and walked in. Jiang Chen looked around. This was an ordinary thatched hut, with simple furnishings. It was not a mansion of a rich family. Where am I? Jiang Chen asked again, looking at the young girl in front of him. She had an innocent and cute appearance, spotless, like a lotus blooming in the water. Deer Morn Mountain, Chilean residence, Zhou Village. The girl said crisply, and glanced at Jiang Chen, as if she was a little afraid. You saved me, little sister? Jiang Chen asked, smiling. He felt that his bones were about to fall apart, and it was quite uncomfortable. However, everything around him was so unfamiliar, and Jiang Chen really did not know where he was. The girl nodded, and then shook her head. It was Grandpa who saved you. No matter what, thank you. Drink this bowl of medicine first. Grandpa said it is good for your body's recovery. The girl smiled, and said a few words to Jiang Chen, and did not seem to be as cautious and afraid as before. Is this the divine realm? Yes, I only know that we are in Deer Morn Mountain, Chilean residence, Zhou Village. As for the rest, I do not know. The girl pouted, and looked very cute, but she did not seem to know much. It's good that this is the divine realm, Jiang Chen thought. But it seems like the divine realm is much bigger than the divine realm, and it is not as simple as he thought. This is the Northern Cold Divine Region, Lone Dragon County. The divine realm is divided into 9 states and 18 counties, namely Dongsheng Divine Region, West Pole Divine Region, Southern South Divine Region, Northern Cold Divine Region, Forbidden Land Divine Region, Ancient Divine Region, Savage Land Divine Region, Great Land Divine Region, and the last divine region is the Central Region Divine Land. As for the 18 counties, some belong to the divine continent, while some exist independently. Our Chilean prefecture, which has a radius of 1,000,000 miles, is only a remote place in Deer Mountain. Deer Morn Mountain is even further away, the Lone Dragon County is far away, and the Northern Cold Divine Region is even more unreachable. Even a god would need tens of thousands of years to travel across the divine realm. The old man held the tobacco pipe in his mouth, squinted his eyes, and took 2 puffs, as if he was enjoying it, and his face was intoxicated. Thank you for saving my life, Senior, Jiang Chen said in a dignified tone. A drop of kindness should be repaid with a gushing spring. Jiang Chen had always been a person who could distinguish between kindness and hatred. This is your own fortune, it has nothing to do with me. Hehe. You are an immortal cultivator who cultivated in the divine realm, right? How did you know? Jiang Chen looked at the old man in surprise, as if he could not believe it. You have a good physique and talent. Even if I did not save you, you would have woken up in a few days. In the divine realm, a young and talented person like you who has yet to reach the true God realm is a bit shabby. Chapter 2205. Old Master's eyes are sharp. I am Jiang Chen. I came from the 9 regions immortal world and entered the divine world. Thank you for saving my life. Cough cough. Jiang Chen said sternly. Your body is still weak. You should rest well. Those cultivators who have gone through many difficulties to enter the divine world are mostly people with great perseverance. You are a good kid. The old man smiled and turned to leave. I am Xueqi. My grandpa is called Old Gang too. Everyone in the village calls him that. Hee hee. But grandpa is a famous alchemist in the surrounding villages. Isn't it amazing? Xueqi said with a smile, a hint of slyness at the corner of her mouth. She only felt relieved after seeing that her grandpa had left. Your strength is actually at the 8th grade immortal sovereign level. Jiang Chen took a look at Xueqi and took a deep breath. His expression was extremely ugly, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Xueqi's strength is a little low, her talent is too low, and her comprehension is poor. Big brother, don't laugh at me. I have always been working hard to cultivate, but Grandpa said that I am not suitable for cultivation, and not suitable to learn alchemy from him. Xueqi pouted and said unhappily, as if she was a little angry. The innocent look of the little girl made Jiang Chen unable to restrain his laughter. At the same time, his heart couldn't help but twitch a few times. This is called poor talent? This is called poor comprehension? This little girl is more terrifying than me who has cultivated for thousands of years. When I first stepped into the divine tomb, I was only a 7th grade immortal sovereign. But she looked so wronged, as if she did not work hard, and her talent was not that good. She was already an 8th grade immortal sovereign at such a young age. Can you not be so harsh? No, who said that Xueqi's strength is weak? Big brother will be the first to disagree. Hee hee. Jiang Chen said with a smile. A 12-year-old 8th grade immortal sovereign. Who would dare to say that this little girl's talent was weak? Jiang Chen was the first to disagree. Big brother, this is my grandfather's special medicine. Drink it while it's hot. I guarantee that you'll be full of energy in less than half a month. Xueqi's innocent and pure look caused Jiang Chen to think of Yan Chen Yu. Once upon a time, she was also so innocent and kind, pure as ice and as clean as jade, untainted by the dust of the world. She was forever untainted by the mud. What's wrong with you, big brother? Do you not want to take your medicine? No, I just thought of a sister. She's as pure as ice and clean as jade. Just like you. As Jiang Chen spoke, he drank the medicine in Xueqi's hands in one gulp. The cool and refreshing feeling indeed caused Jiang Chen's entire body to tremble. It was indeed a divine medicine. After eating it, he felt a rather comfortable feeling. You only know how to make fun of me. Big brother, I'm not as good as you say. Xueqi blushed. She knew that Jiang Chen was praising her. In the past, her grandfather almost never praised her. In the village, she was also one of the weakest. Although not many people cared about it, she cared about it very much. She did not want to be a burden to her grandfather every time. Every time when others joked with her grandfather, they would use her strength to talk about it. Old Gang 2, where are you? A deep voice came from outside the door. What's wrong, young Master Feng Man Lu? My house is simple and crude. How can I have the time to come here today? Old Gang 2 said faintly as if he did not welcome him. Didn't your family catch a strong man? 3 days later, follow me to Profound Feng sect. Young Master Feng has been urging me for a few times. All the men in our village have to follow me to dig for divine origin stones. This is young Master Feng's order. Feng Man Lu said proudly and looked at Old Gang 2 coldly. If it wasn't for his father telling him to respect Old Gang 2, he would be respected as the famous alchemist in the surrounding villages. If he offended him, his father's position as the village chief would not be easy. However, the current Feng Man Lu had directly climbed up the Profound Feng sect of the Qilian prefecture. Naturally, they did not put Old Gang 2 in their eyes. Moreover, the Feng Man Lu had brought all the strong men in the village to Profound Feng sect to dig for divine origin stones. It was a very tiring job and they could only come back once a year. No one was willing to leave their village and go to Profound Feng sect. However, Feng Man Lu was the son of the village chief. Now that he had the support of the young sect lord of Profound Feng sect, no one dared to provoke him anymore. He's not from our village, and he's injured. I'm afraid he's not up to the task. I advise young Master Feng to choose another candidate. Old Gang 2 said with a smile. You're trying to make life difficult for me, aren't you? Old Gang 2, How about 100 low-grade divine origin stones? That's enough for you to earn a year. Wind-sweeping tower scoffed. Wasn't it just money? Old fart, if he wanted divine essence stones, he did not lack them. What he lacked was manpower. Old Gang 2 shook his head and smiled without saying a word. Then what do you mean? I must bring this person away 3 days later. Moreover, I should tell you this time, Old Gang 2. Don't act like a tyrant in front of my father in the future. He's the village chief and you're just an alchemist. You don't have the final say in the Zhou village. Humph. Feng Manlu harumphed coldly, turned around and left. Oh yeah. Wait for your little girl Xueqi to grow up in another 2 to 3 years. She'll definitely be a slender and elegant girl. I'll bring her to Profound Feng sect and she'll definitely stand out. TSK. She's a beauty. The corner of Feng Manlu's mouth carried a gentle smile that made people shudder. What's in your life? You'll get it eventually. Don't force it if it's not in your life. Old Gang 2 held the tobacco pipe in his mouth, lying on the rocking chair as if he had fallen asleep. Xueqi, who is this Feng Manlu? He wants me to go and dig for divine essence stones with him? Jiang Chen furrowed his brows. This fellow didn't sound like a good person at first glance. He was shouting and yelling as if he was the #1 in the world. He was the typical example of a fox exploiting the tiger's might to bully others. He's the son of the village chief. 5 years ago, he was lucky enough to enter Profound Feng sect and got acquainted with the young sect lord of Profound Feng sect. These years, he has become more overbearing. There are more than 100 young men in our village. Almost all of them were taken to Profound Feng sect to dig for the primordial stone mine. They can only come back once a year. No one is willing to go. But his influence in Profound Feng sect is quite strong. No one in the Zhou village dared to go against him. Every time he comes back, he would bully the people and do all kinds of evil things. His father, as the village chief, just closed one eye. Humph. I hate him the most. He always looks at me with evil intentions. Xueqi said angrily. Obviously, she did not like the village chief's son. Is Profound Feng sect very powerful? Jiang Chen murmured. Of course. Profound Feng sect is one of the 8 major sects of Qilian Prefecture. The number of disciples in the sect is more than 10 million. Even an outer sect disciple like Feng Manlu has the strength of a 9th-grade immortal sovereign. Once he breaks through to the middle void god realm, he can become an inner sect disciple. Xueqi said. There are so many 9th-grade immortal sovereigns in the divine world? Jiang Chen was puzzled. Xueqi couldn't stop laughing. She covered her mouth and was extremely happy. Do you think that the divine world is filled with immortals and divine kings? Big brother, you're even more naive than me. Chapter 2206. Jiang Chen smiled and looked at Xueqi in confusion. He thought that everyone in the divine world was a true god. At least, there shouldn't be so many 9th-grade immortal sovereigns. In fact, it wasn't the case. Even with the dense divine origin qi in the divine world, it wasn't easy to improve one's cultivation realm. The truth is not what you think, big brother. Not everyone in the divine world is born with unparalleled strength. However, those who were born in the divine world are the natives of the divine world. They have been nurtured by the divine origin qi of the heavens and earth. They are destined to be born with extraordinary talents. Of course, this is compared to those who have ascended from the lower planes. Basically, a young man like me would have at least reached the 9th-grade immortal sovereign realm, or the more powerful ones would have broken through to the void god realm. There are even more monstrous geniuses who could reach the true god realm at the age of 20. I'm considered to be mediocre. As she spoke till here, Xueqi was clearly a little disappointed. She was a girl that cared more about the opinions of others. Therefore, she was also brooding over her own strength. However, she had always been working very hard. It was just that no one was able to see it. Furthermore, her talent was limited. She didn't know why her cultivation progress was so slow even though she was working so hard. But because the divine origin qi of the divine world is too dense, some people are destined to be unable to break through the shackles of the peak void god realm. Even though their cultivation realm is fast in the early stages. Some people will never be able to break through the void god realm, because their cultivation realm is too fast in the early stages and they can't digest the divine origin qi. Unfortunately, this is the fate of the divine world. People like me will never be able to reach the true God realm in my lifetime. You're not bad. When I was your age I was even weaker. Hehe. I'm not even as good as you. Keep it up, I believe you can do it. Jiang Chen looked at Yue seriously and said, Really? Of course. There's a way for those who have a will. The heavens will not disappoint those who put in hard work. As long as you're willing to work hard, you'll never be weaker than anyone else. Some people just heard rumors that their talent is average and they don't have any future. That's why they gave up on themselves. In this way, they might miss the best time to cultivate, and it's not surprising for them to be mediocre for the rest of their lives. Yue rolled her eyes and chuckled. You sound very reasonable. I will not give up. I will definitely break through to the true God realm and make everyone respect my grandfather. Jiang Chen said with a smile on his face. That's right. I believe you can do it, haha. Yes, big brother. You're definitely not weak. Hearing you say that, I also feel that you're definitely stronger than me. Yue looked at Jiang Chen curiously. I'm just an early void god. Moreover, I've suffered such heavy injuries. I guess I won't be able to recover without at least 10 days or half a month. Moreover, I've been cultivating for a longer time than you. Actually, not everyone in the divine world can live forever. If we can't break through to the true God realm, we will forever be immortal. So, we can only live for 500 years at most. At this moment, old Gang Tu walked in with a smile and looked at Jiang Chen with deep meaning. You must be curious why you can live forever in the immortal world, but it's different in the divine world. Old Gang Tu's words woke Jiang Chen up from his dream. He completely saw through the doubts in Jiang Chen's heart. Indeed, this was what he was worried about the most. If he only had 500 years of life, how could he wait for his beloved? How could he help them conquer the divine world? Those below the true God realm are all mortals. You might not have heard of this before. Only when one breaks through to the true God realm will he have a lifespan of 500 years. When one reaches the heavenly God realm and condenses his godhead, he will have a lifespan of 5,000 years. But those who are below the true God realm are no different from mortals. Those who have extraordinary abilities or great opportunities or the control of medicines might be able to live for a few hundred years. But no one below the true God realm can live for more than 500 years. I've been refining countless medicines in my life. I once used medicinal pills to reach the middle true God realm. But after a battle with someone, I was stuck at the middle void God realm. It's hard for me to advance any further. 100 years. These 4 words were like thunder, reverberating in Jiang Chen's ears. Initially, he thought that the divine world was the heaven that everyone yearned for. But now, it seemed like the cruelty of the divine world was even scarier than the immortal world. If you don't succeed, you die. If you don't break through, you die. If you don't break through to the true God realm, you won't be able to walk on the road to immortality. This was an iron law. Even old Gang Tu, who had once broken through to the true God realm, had to live for 100 years. How cruel and sorrowful was this? Jiang Chen could deeply feel that old Gang Tu was looking at his granddaughter with a touch of gentleness and expectation. Everything depended on fate. The true God realm. Jiang Chen would definitely step into that realm. Even a heavenly god or a divine king would not be able to stop him. He must soar to the 9 heavens and trample on the divine world, using his pair of iron fists to make a name for himself in the divine world. Otherwise, how would he be able to protect his loved ones when they came from the immortal world? Now, De Huang, the monkey and tyrant were nowhere to be found. The divine world was unimaginably vast. He had to find them first. De Huang had entered the Luo family. It should be easy to find him. However, he did not know where the Luo family was. I have a question. I wonder if Senior knows where the Luo family of the god Luo clan is? Jiang Chen asked. Old Gang Tu was slightly shocked and looked at Jiang Chen. You know about the god Luo clan of Shenyuan County? Old Gang Tu sighed and shook his head. The god Luo clan of Shenyuan County is in the West Pole Divine Continent. Although it is not the furthest from us, it would take more than 6,000 years to reach the West Pole Divine Continent without using the space teleportation. Jiang Chen smiled bitterly in his heart. Is this a joke? More than 6,000 years. Does this mean that if I don't break through to the heavenly god realm, I will die during the flight? Moreover, I will die without any accident. It sounded like a fantasy. It seemed that the space teleportation was more reliable. Not everyone can afford the space teleportation. Even a heavenly god or a divine king would have to pay half of his fortune to use the space teleportation once. Only the true upper echelons of the divine world are qualified to use it. Old Gang 2 said faintly. Chapter 2207. To put it bluntly, he needed to increase his strength as soon as possible. Otherwise, he would become a nobody in this cold and cruel divine world. You still want to go to the West Pole divine continent? Hee, you'd better recuperate your body first. Anyone who crossed over from the immortal world would definitely be valued by the major powers of the divine world. That's because each of them relied on their own hard work to reach where they are today. Not only are they talented, they also have extraordinary perseverance. They are definitely different from the natives of the divine world. When your injuries are healed, you can go look for a powerful sect to cultivate in. You will definitely make rapid progress there. If there's a fortuitous encounter, breaking through to the heavenly god realm and condensing a godhead won't be a problem. Old Gang 2's evaluation of Jiang Chen was very high. Thank you for your guidance, senior. Jiang Chen smiled and said, you are talented. You will definitely become a great person in the future. I am just happy to see a talent like you die. Old Gang 2 took a puff of his cigarette and said, I will never forget senior's kindness. As for 3 days later, I will leave on my own. Otherwise, I am afraid that I will implicate you. Jiang Chen said, but you have not fully recovered, big brother. Yue said worriedly. Don't worry. That brat is just relying on the young sect lord of Profound Feng sect. Will the young sect lord come and take care of his business? As for his old man, Humph, I don't really care about him. As the village chief, he never thinks about the villagers. I don't think he will dare to do anything to me. Old Gang 2 harumphed coldly. His expression was serious and proud. As a famous alchemist in the 10-mile 8 village, Old Gang 2 was not a pushover. Moreover, he was an expert who had once stepped into the true god realm. Although his strength had declined, he was still the #1 expert in the Zhou village. You can stay here peacefully. Leave after you have recovered. Then, all right. Jiang Chen nodded helplessly. He didn't want to disturb the old master and his grandson, and he might even bring them unnecessary trouble. That night, Jiang Chen circulated his cultivation technique. Dragon marks appeared, and the divine origin energy of the divine world continuously flowed into his body. Compared to the immortal origin energy of the immortal world, it was many times stronger. The divine origin energy nourished his meridians, making Jiang Chen feel comfortable both physically and mentally. His body had recovered by more than half. The toughness of his body was beyond imagination. In 3 days, he would be fully recovered. The divine world is indeed different. The aura here is much denser than the immortal world. No wonder so many people could reach the void god realm at such a young age. It's really shocking. Jiang Chen murmured with a solemn expression. He still had a long way to go in the future. Moreover, he didn't have much time left. A few hundred years sounded like a long time, but to them, they could easily go into seclusion for years or even decades. Their time in the divine world would not be long. If they couldn't reach the heavenly god realm within a few hundred years, it would be hard for them to break through again. In the courtyard, Old Gang 2 was concocting pills. There was a cauldron the size of a jar. Old Gang 2 kept throwing the herbs into the cauldron, concocting pills. The method was simple but effective. The effect of concocting pills could reach the most perfect state. However, this ordinary flame could not remove the impurities in the herbs. As the saying goes, medicine is 30% poisonous. If the impurities in the herbs could not be removed, the pill would not reach the most perfect state. After a long time, the extinguishing fire pill was completed. However, Old Gang 2's face was still calm, as if he was not affected at all. Instead, he looked a little disappointed. Senior, it seems like you don't have enough control over the herbs, Jiang Chen said. Looking at Old Gang 2 concocting pills, he couldn't help but feel his hands itching. You also know how to concoct pills? Old Gang 2 asked in surprise. I know a little. I have observed Senior's refinement of the herbs and it seems like you are unable to reach the most perfect state. I wonder if Senior has any feelings? Sigh, I know about this. Unfortunately, without a proper flame, it is impossible to reach the most perfect state of refinement. Ordinary flames are unable to remove the impurities and toxins in the herbs. Hence, it is impossible to achieve the most perfect refinement. Old Gang 2 obviously knew about his weakness. I want to give it a try. Old Gang 2 smiled. Don't look down on these herbs. Whether it is the degree of purity or the medicinal properties of the herbs, they are incomparable to the herbs in the immortal world. Don't let your guard down. Thank you, Senior, for your reminder. Jiang Chen nodded with a smile on his face. Jiang Chen waved his hand, and a flame rose up. The fire of sun suddenly appeared in his hand. He then picked up 3 herbs that were ready to be harvested, the lost grass, the ginkgo clover, and the red tree fruit. This is the fire of sun? Old Gang 2 was startled and his face turned solemn. He had been concocting pills for more than 200 years. Although his strength was average, he was quite knowledgeable about concocting pills. Now that Jiang Chen took out the fire of sun, Old Gang 2 knew that Jiang Chen was not simple. The power of the fire of sun was feared by everyone, especially an alchemist. They understood the power of this flame. If they were not careful, they would be burned. Even Old Gang 2, who was in the true god realm, might not dare to touch this flame. Moreover, the fire of sun was something that he could only dream of. Refine it for me. Jiang Chen suddenly shouted and threw the 3 herbs into the fire. This made Old Gang 2 even more shocked. He had never seen an alchemist who could refine several kinds of herbs at once. Moreover, the impurities in each herb were completely removed. Old Gang 2 knew this very well. Jiang Chen looked at the rising fire of sun in his hand. After the 3 refined herbs were solidified, they instantly fused together. At this moment, Old Gang 2 was in awe. He did not expect Jiang Chen to be so terrifying. This kind of alchemist must have a high grade, far beyond what he could achieve. Most importantly, Jiang Chen had the fire of sun in his hand. This was something that ordinary people could never imagine. Is it about to be completed? Old Gang 2 murmured. The fire of sun in Jiang Chen's hand instantly swallowed the 3 herbs. Moreover, the control of the flame was quite perfect. When the flame faded away, 3 white pellets appeared in Jiang Chen's hand. The simplest 10 complete great supplement pill. Jiang Chen said with a smile. Look at the quality of this pellet. It's definitely at the 10th grade. Chapter 2208. Old Gang 2 did not expect that he would pick up a treasure. This fellow was really shocking. Old Gang 2 had been refining pills for so many years, but this was the first time he met such a genius. Moreover, he could control the fire of Sunday. This fella's future would be limitless. Old Gang 2 was so excited that he could not control himself. To Jiang Chen, Old Gang 2's excitement and surprise made him quite confident. It should be a 10% effectiveness, Dan. But it's not that difficult. If it's a little more difficult, I don't think I could be this powerful. Jiang Chen said humbly. This old man's eyes are sharp. Do you think I don't know what you're capable of? Looks like you're definitely an experienced alchemist. Your skill in alchemy is even better than mine. I have to say, your method of controlling fire has really widened this old man's horizons. Plus, the fire of sun's effect on alchemy is limitless. Old Gang 2 said solemnly. If I also have the fire of sun, I would like to compete with you. Senior's alchemy skill is also extraordinary. It's just that I'm better at using fire. Jiang Chen said. Don't be humble. Each generation has its own talents. You're indeed better than me. Kid, I'm right about you. However, in terms of alchemy, you're better than me. In terms of fire, there's one more thing that you're not as good as me. Please enlighten me, Senior. Jiang Chen's eyes brightened up. Your level of control over flames has completely surpassed your level of control over medicinal ingredients. In other words, your understanding of the medicinal properties of medicinal ingredients has not reached a perfect level. You should know that there are 3 most important aspects to forming a pill. The first is the refinement of divine power, the second is the refinement of medicinal ingredients, and the last is the control of flames. Divine power refinement is not a problem as your strength increases. However, medicinal ingredient refinement requires your heart to feel the thousands of changes in the medicinal ingredient. You rely on the control and dominance of the flame to remove the impurities, but you have neglected the most important point of the elixir. After all, it is still a medicinal ingredient, so the most important point is the extraction of the medicinal ingredient. It must be incomparably pure, and you must feel the true changes in the medicinal ingredient. Only then will you be able to achieve an unexpected result. Some elixirs will even have some characteristics of the medicinal ingredient, and this is the most important change in pharmacology. There are tens of thousands of medicinal ingredients, and it's impossible for us to have seen every single one of them and know their medicinal properties. But when you concoct medicine, you can sense the changes, and you'll understand that medicinal ingredients actually have their own lives. Only by thoroughly understanding the myriad changes of medicinal theory can you be considered a true Grand Master alchemist. At that moment, with the tempering of God power and control of flame, as well as the support, you'll definitely be able to concoct a peerless medicinal pill. Old Gang Tu's words made Jiang Chen very happy. Jiang Chen nodded his head heavily. In his heart, there was a wave of emotions. Indeed, before this, he only focused on the control of the flame and neglected this point. He thought that as long as he could remove the impurities in the medicinal ingredient, he would be able to concoct a true high-grade elixir. This is a 70% elixir. Take a look. This elixir might not be any worse than your 100% elixir. Old Gang Tu smiled. Jiang Chen took a closer look at the two pills. They were indeed quite shocking to him. Listening to your words is better than reading books for 10 years. Senior skill is really unpredictable. Junior really admires you. It's a pity that the heavens are jealous of geniuses. If senior's strength could reach the next level, your skill in alchemy would definitely improve. Jiang Chen also felt pity for Old Gang Tu. However, the current Old Gang Tu did not have the strength to step into the true God realm. Everyone has their own fate. I have never hoped to become a true master alchemist. I used to rely on my own alchemy skills to improve my strength. However, my body's 8 extraordinary meridians were all damaged. It's impossible for me to reach the true God realm. Old Gang Tu's words made him sigh. However, what he said was right. If there was a chance to live, he would never give up. A person's fate cannot be changed, especially in the divine world. You will know what is called the wrath of heaven if you go against heaven's will. Sometimes, life doesn't need to be too exciting. As long as you feel that you are living well, that's enough. Going against heaven's will to change your fate is not easy. You have 2 or 3 lives. If you fight with your life, 2 or 3 lives might not even be worth mentioning. Having no desires is not what I pursue. However, contentment is what I have learned for the past 200 years. Jiang Chen fell into deep thought. Old Gang Tu had his own pursuits. Jiang Chen had no right to interfere. Moreover, what Old Gang Tu said was not unreasonable. Going against heaven's will was not an easy thing to do. Fighting with people was fun. Fighting with the earth was fun. However, fighting with heaven was not something to be proud of. Has heaven ever spared anyone? The most ruthless one was heaven. Old Gang Tu was the first person that Jiang Chen got to know after entering the divine world. He was also the person that changed Jiang Chen's mentality greatly. Life is precious. Cherish it. You will have a better future than me. Old Gang Tu patted Jiang Chen's shoulder. His eyes were filled with hope. On the second day, Jiang Chen's strength had recovered by more than half. He insisted on going out to train and breathe some fresh air. That was why he followed Yu Er up the mountain to collect herbs. Big brother, you have to be careful. Follow me closely. There are beasts here. Yu Er smiled, revealing her canine teeth. She was wearing a green robe and carrying a medicine basket on her back. She looked fresh and refined. The liveliness and quick-wittedness of a young girl had also influenced Jiang Chen. There are beasts here. Will your grandfather allow you to collect herbs alone? Jiang Chen said. Hee, I'm just teasing you. This is just the outer area of Deer Morn Mountain. Deer Morn Mountain stretches for millions of miles. In the depths of the mountain, there might be powerful beasts or even divine beasts. However, there are no beasts outside of 10,000 miles. Even if there are, they would at most be beasts below the Void God realm. I have a green panacea pill here. Beasts below the Void God realm will never come close to me. Even if I meet a Void God realm beast, I can protect myself. Yu Er said proudly. Then it seems that our little Yaya is bold because of her skills? Ha! Chapter 2209. At dusk, the sun was setting in the west. The two of them walked through the foothills of 2,000 miles in the periphery and picked a lot of medicinal herbs. Their harvest was quite bountiful. We should go back, or Grandpa will be worried, Jiang Chen said. Let's play a little longer. I haven't had enough. Hehe. There's a lake over there. Let's go take a look. Before Jiang Chen could speak, Yu-Er had already skipped over. This lake was quite clear. The clear water, the glistening yellow sky, and the red people outlined a beautiful picture of the afterglow of the setting sun. This place is really beautiful. Yu-Er took a deep breath. She was enjoying it quite a lot. She was extremely satisfied. The lake seemed to have a circumference of more than 10 miles. A gentle breeze was blowing and rippling the surface of the lake. Not to mention Yu-Er, even Jiang Chen, who didn't know how to appreciate beauty, felt that the scenery here was very pleasant. It's really beautiful. Jiang Chen couldn't help but praise. The sky gradually turned dark. Suddenly, a huge whirlpool appeared on the surface of the lake. The whirlpool became deeper and deeper, reaching a depth of a few thousand meters. Is this the wonder of a waterspout? Yu-Er's eyes widened. She was shocked to see that she was still unaware of the danger. Not good. There's definitely a great demon here. Jiang Chen shouted and quickly grabbed Yu-Er's hand, wanting to leave this place as soon as possible. However, a gigantic green serpent soared up to the sky and roared from the whirlpool. The surface of the lake was completely frozen. Even Jiang Chen and Yu-Er were blown away by the impact. Yu-Er even fainted from the impact. Even Jiang Chen was dizzy from the shock. The blood in his body rumbled as he cursed. Give up, profound ice azure serpent. You can't escape from me. Her clothes were whiter than snow. Her sleeves fluttered, and her hair was like the wind. The woman stood in the air, untainted by even a speck of dust. She was like a fairy from the 9 heavens. Her temperament was extraordinary, and her figure was peerless. Her exquisite face was covered by a green veil, but the contours of her face could still be seen clearly. The woman's voice was like a tranquil melody in a valley, moving the heartstrings of those who heard it. It was as if there was some kind of magic that attracted Jiang Chen. This woman should only exist in the heavens, not in the mortal realm. Jiang Chen had never seen such an elegant and picturesque girl, a girl as noble as a lotus. He had to admit that a girl like this was a sacred existence in the hearts of men. They could be admired from afar, but not played with. Even your grandmaster is not my opponent, not to mention you. Those who stop me from transforming into a dragon will be killed. The profound ice azure serpent soared into the sky, its 100-jong body blotting out the sun, its aura devouring the mountains and rivers like a tiger. At this moment, it spoke in the human language and spoke coldly. It was disdainful of the tiny woman in white who was hovering in the air not too far away. Even if you're strong, you're still heavily injured. The white-clothed woman said coldly without a shred of emotion, as if she had already sentenced the profound ice azure serpent to death. Boasting shamelessly. Let's see if you have the ability. You're still too young to kill me. Early heavenly god is still an early heavenly god. I'm 2 realms higher than you. Even if I'm heavily injured, you won't be able to touch me. The profound ice azure serpent said in a deep voice. The entire void rumbled like thunder, incomparably ear-piercing. Jiang Chen's body trembled. The human and beast in front of him were both heavenly god experts, existences that surpassed the true god realm. Before these 2 heavenly gods, Jiang Chen felt like an ant. The profound ice azure serpent even took a glance at him, but ignored him. At this moment, Jiang Chen felt as if he had fallen into an ice cave. It was too terrifying. Heavenly god experts were so terrifying that he could not even think of resisting them. Experts are, after all, unparalleled in strength. Jiang Chen sighed in his heart. 2 heavenly god experts were already so powerful that they could make one's heart tremble. What about divine king or hierarch experts? Wouldn't they be able to destroy the world with a flip of their hand? Jiang Chen recalled the moment in the divine tomb, where he destroyed hundreds of thousands of heavenly god and divine king divine souls with a flip of his hand. Even the divine soul of a divine emperor expert could be destroyed. However, he was still just a divine soul. In the divine world, even a heavenly god expert could destroy him with a flip of their hand. I must become stronger. Jiang Chen clenched his fist tightly as he stared at the 2 heavenly god experts. A battle could break out at any moment. Jiang Chen had no choice but to retreat. Otherwise, he would be implicated in a battle between heavenly god experts. If that's the case, then let me see how strong you are. The white-robed lady said faintly. She held the white jade longsword in her hand and soared into the sky, charging towards the profound ice azure snake. The The sword tip was sharp as it spun through the void. Above the 9 heavens, the night sky was filled with sword chi. To think that even that old fart passed down the snow shadow sword to you. Looks like you're really her favorite disciple. However, since you've met me today, I can only let you be ruthless. In this world, there are too many people that you can't afford to offend. Little girl, you're still too young. The profound ice azure snake sneered and soared into the sky. Wherever it passed, it would leave behind an afterimage. Even the air felt like it was condensing, causing one to feel suffocated. The white-robed lady swung the snow shadow sword with a powerful aura. Although she was a lady, her sword chi was extremely terrifying. A single slash was enough to flatten the world. Even the profound ice azure snake did not dare to take the attack head-on. It was in a state of retreat. The white-robed lady's aura was unparalleled. As she soared into the sky with her sword, it felt like she was one with the world. Wherever her sword pointed, it would be invincible. The profound ice azure serpent kept dodging. A human and a serpent were engaged in a battle of life and death above the lake. The terrifying chi caused the towering ancient trees within a 10-li radius to be frozen or turned into dust by the sword chi. Jiang Chen used the ancestral dragon pagoda to protect himself and disappeared into the dust. At this moment, he was extremely shocked. A battle between experts of this level would be a valuable treasure to him in the future. Serpent dragon goes to sea, sky shattering water. The profound ice azure snake roared. The white-robed lady quickly retreated, but she was still frozen by the profound ice azure snake. The profound ice azure snake let out a furious roar that shook the heavens. Even Jiang Chen, who was inside the Zulong Tower, felt that the Zulong Tower was shaking. Luckily, he hid inside the Zulong Tower and survived. Everything within a 10-mile radius was frozen. It was a terrifying scene. Bang! You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.